needs to play physical, and he's been doing it great all season, every night here so far.
How about that slot, that puck out of midair? It looked like it might be heading in the upper left-hand corner. Terrific play by Moritz all the way around, and now you get two teams tonight.
I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was a buzzer beater on this Saturday. It is February 1st, 2025. John here with you. I know Hopkins is going to be joining me in a little bit. He might be a little bit late depending on the text that I sent him because I was having internet issues prior to this just about 45 minutes ago, the outage in the area. But I think we are all good to go here. And I'm going to get started a little bit earlier as we get everything settled with the lineups. So there's been a lot to tell you about as far as some of the trades. We'll talk about all of those between the first and second intermission because there's so much to get to. So for Todd McLellan, again, I can't get used to saying that, 25, 21, and 5. The Detroit Red Wings are 4 points out of the playoff spot as Tampa is able to get a big win today. They are 6th in the Atlantic. They're going to be headlined by Dylan Larkin, Marco Kasper, Lucas Raymond, Ben Sherratt, Moritz, Seider, Andrew Kopp, Alex DeBrincat, Vlad Tarasenko, Simon Evanson, Albert Johansson. It's Michael Rasmussen, Elmer Soderblom, Jonathan Berggren, Joe Veleno, Dominic Shine, Christian Fischer. We'll mix in with Eric Gustafson and Justin Hall, Cam Talbot, who has been good. 8 of the last 9 he has won in a Red Wings uniform. The former Flame is going to get the start today in the Saddle Dome. And normally the lines that I would use for CBS Sports, those are incomplete because of all the trades. So I did use what was on the NHL predictor for the lineups. So it's Jonathan Huberdeau, Nazem Kadri, Joel Farabee for Ryan Huska's squad. And let me look on the side of the records as well. 25, 17, and 7. Calgary currently occupies the second wild card in the West, and the Vancouver Canucks are just a point behind. They've already made a bunch of trades. We'll talk about those. So again, Jonathan Huberdeau, Nazem Kadri, Joel Farabee, Blake Coleman, Michael Backlund, Matthew Coronado, Marty Pospisil, Morgan Frost, Igor Sharangovich, Ryan Lomberg, Clark Bishop, Adam Klapka, Joel Hanley, Rasmus Anderson, Jake Bean, Mackenzie Weegar, Tyson Berry, Braden Pahal, and Dustin Wolf will get the start in net tonight for the Calgary Flames. For Dustin Wolf, again, we've talked about him over the last few. I still think he's in running for the Calder at 18-7-2, 2.54 goals against, 9.16 save percentage, and a pair of shutouts. Dan Vladar has not gotten starts in a while. He sits at 6-10-5 with a 3.12, 8.86, and 2 shutouts. And the way that this has been going right now for Craig Conroy and the Calgary Flames, they've won several games in a row. The Red Wings have won several games in a row. I think both teams trying to go for 4. And this is going to be a big-time matchup, and more so than any in the times that Cooper and I have been able to cover this. Again, East and West, you only have a handful of meetings each season on the opposite conference. So the Red Wings have won 3 in a row over the last 2 years, but I would argue that tonight is the most important game for both of these teams in their final meeting of the season. And that's because Calgary, I don't think, was expected to be in a playoff spot right now, and the Red Wings have completely rebounded. Again, they have a lot of points to make up from when Derek Lalonde was here, but they've completely rebounded from where they are to push themselves in the playoff spot. And the Eastern Conference has gotten so darn interesting in the mix of Tampa, Boston, Columbus. Ottawa now has made a push. The New York Islanders are on a tear. I think they've won 6 in a row now. So the Red Wings have to continue to keep doing what they're doing just to keep pace in the East. And I know Vancouver has made all these moves as well, but Calgary can't afford to falter. The LA Kings have faltered. Again, they won a game today, but they were 2-7-1 going into it, were the LA Kings. And if they continued to lose and Calgary ended up picking up wins, they could occupy the 3rd spot in the Pacific. So there's a lot to play for tonight, and this should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, we'll have dual feeds. The option today, because it's Hockey Night in Canada, I can go to the Sportsnet feed. I think that'll be a little bit faster than FanDuel is, but I'm going to stick with the opposite feeds for now, and then when Cooper gets in, we will get things going.
And now we'll be talking 3 games in the next 4 days. The road ahead is a tough one for you guys.
It's not easy. I played 3 and 4, but it's not easy doing it like last year. So the travel between games is a little tougher on a long road night.
So I'm going to go ahead and plug this phone in right now as we are getting set up, and then I'll get Cooper in here.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just kind of part of the grind of the season, and I think we just embrace it honestly and look forward to it. It's a good challenge for us, and get as many guys going as we can here.
A lot of games in a short period of time, and
Well, my friend, I am a little bit sorry for saying that I might not be able to get into the game, and then lo and behold, probably 10 minutes before this puck drop, everything decided to work again. So I had to quickly text you. We're back on.
Hey, we are here, and I'm glad it all worked out, John. It's Coop and John back together again. That's the way it should be, especially on a night like tonight. We got the Wings at the Saddle Dome. I am very excited, pal.
I said this a little bit in the open. Again, I jumped in on early. I made sure I got a couple of the other trades, and we got a lot to do in the first and second intermission. I did not send Cooper all the notes, but he knows I've been prepared. We've been talking about it in the mix. But I made the argument, Cooper, that this is probably the most important meeting between the Red Wings and the Flames over the last probably 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, no question. And there's a lot of intrigue. You and I are going to get into a ton of stuff tonight. Really interesting things. Players changing teams, John, including the couple for Calgary going out and a couple coming in that I know we'll get to as the anthems are being sung right now in Cowtown. It's hard to know even where it starts, but it's an exciting night for sure.
Again, this time I do have the option for both feeds. I know Sportsnet's probably a little bit ahead on the TV side as Hockey Night in Canada. Otherwise, I'd be blacked out. I do have the Red Wings feed right now as you're getting through the anthem. So I could be a little bit ahead, a little bit behind you. And I figured since you have home ice advantage, I'll start, you take the second, and then you'll close in the third. Does that sound good?
Hey, we always balance it out beautifully, and I'm right alongside you with that one. Let's get into this thing. And we're going to look at our goaltenders here. Got some interesting stats here with Wolfie getting ready to take the net for the Calgary Flames. And we'll throw this one out there. You probably have this in your notes. The NHL's Rookie of the Month, and that's big news for Calgary Flames fans.
Yeah, Dustin Wolf has been phenomenal, Cooper. I still think he's in that Calder conversation. Cam Talbot, former Flame, he's won 8 of the last 9. I'm kind of excited this is the way that the matchup has gone in goal. No disrespect to the backups here in line and Dan Vladar, but this is what I wanted to see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. You know what? The only thing that's, as we take a look at the injury report, I know we can get into it here. Puck drops about to take place, but I wish Anthony Mantha were healthy for the Flames tonight. Former Red Wing, of course, but he is out for the season after a serious injury. The puck has been dropped. I won't step on your toes, John. Take it away.
So here we go. Again, I talked about it alongside Cooper. He already knows this. With some of the stuff on CBS Sports where I normally get the lineups, I had to go on NHL. They had blanks because of all the trades that Calgary has made. So I got those in front of me as the Flames now have the puck. Coronado with a wrister. He was going for that top right corner. As this will bounce back to the defense, Mackenzie Weegar is going to sit in. No Seider. We'll go back around now for Ben Sherratt and the Red Wings. First line will get going. Seider will take a knuckle puck right to Dustin Wolf. We'll glove it down. It'll be Hall and Bean. Now to start this one right to left again. Calgary at home. They got 7 of the next 8 at home. Kadri now with the pass across. Be a good spot to shoot. And a good save there for Talbot in amongst the screen. And a big hit the other way. Took out those of Kadri. Flames still with it. And they shoot it. This one's saved by Talbot with the left pad. Already testing the voice register as this goes back around now for Vlad Tarasenko in amongst the corner. Stolen over now. Pass across. Another save for Talbot as the Flames get up to a good start. That was Tyson Berry. Here is Kadri now. Gets hit again off the puck. My goodness, as Tarasenko ended up taking down the ice. He's going to need some ice bags, does Nazem, as this will start again now. And the Flames, good seam pass right to Talbot. He will elect to hold, and we can take a breath.
Yeah, John, good start for Calgary. I feel like we've gone over this before in games that we've covered with the Flames, where they get out to a nice little jump here, and I really like what I've seen. Matt Coronado, he is coming off of a natural hat trick. He ran the right side of that cage, just past Talbot's glove there. So I love what I'm seeing from one of the Flames' young stars.
And the Flames fired on again. Another stick away there for Talbot as it's brushed from a corner. The first 3 shots here for the Calgary Flames. Take this one, D. Another one, big save, Talbot with a lot of screens out front as the Red Wings, Jonathan Berger, a little half spin, will get this one into the zone. 4-0 on the shot board, 2 minutes in, as the Red Wings have just really started that Canadian road trip. Again, they got the shootout win over the Oilers on Thursday. That was huge. Turnaround chance right to Wolf. Bunch of stick battles. Don't know who's going to pick it up. This one clings the bar and stays out. The Red Wings were that close. We've had a lot of action here already within the first 2.5 minutes. As this is sent back around, and I'm really glad that the internet came back on just to watch this. Johansson now, part of his D-man's got to come back to be able to pick this one up. And this one now bouncing off the wall. Hanley lost it for a moment. Gustafson had to send it back around for Tristan Hall, former Maple Leaf. And now the Flames will start this one again across the sea. Enter now is Clark Bishop on that fourth line. Got a lot of size at the Calgary Flames there. That matches the Red Wings third. As this one goes down the ice, Dustin Wolf's going to like to play it here for Hanley. And he'll send this pass on the crisscross. Get a chance to start again for the Flames. Mackenzie Weegar will send this around the embankment. Backlund. He gets stick lifted in the moment in the corner from Michael Rasmussen, as this will be a turnaround chance. Simon Edmondson now will get a chance to pick this one up off the long flip. Jake Bean is there. We'll start this one. From right to left go the Calgary Flames. It's Backlund, the captaincy for the Flames. Good pass. Coronado, space to shoot. Another one blocked to the side by Talbot, as the Red Wings will try to take it left to right in the road whites and the red striping. Again, old enough to remember when it was all Reds. I kind of miss it that way and also miss it in the Western Conference, but here we are because we could have had another meeting. Hanley with the pass across, and Rasmus Anderson will give it back to him as the forwards can take a change. Nazem's back out there. He's on the right wing as this one will pinball right to him. Here to the right side boards. Nazem slows up pass. Good for Bean. Lets it go. Talbot makes the save, and then the rebound was loose. And we get a whistle as the net was dislodged. What a start for the Flames.
Yeah, John, this is very interesting to see, and I don't want to jump into this theme of the night too quickly here, but, I think that Craig Conroy, who just brought in Frost and Farabee from the Flyers, that's a lot of F's right there. I mean, there's some exciting stuff happening as they've already seen some ice time here, and you mentioned it, that the Flames are going to be on a real nice home stretch here, and I think if you're going to bring in new players, now's the time to do it. Let them get settled in the home barn.
Yeah, I think so too. I just got that camera shot in the mix of Casper. Luckily, Rasmus Anderson didn't run too much into the post. That looked like that could have been a disaster. We'll see who bounces back in. It'll be Dylan Larkin a ticket against Nazem, and Nazem wins. Again, you got two really good center icemen there as far as draws. That one was one in the neutral zone by the Flames. Picked up now for Moritz Seider for a moment. Here's a bouncing puck. It's Ben Sherratt. Sherratt now, as this one will get rolled back down the ice. Dustin Wolf will break it up. And now Jake Bean will start again. 6-0 on the shot board. Again, that's on the FanDuel feed in Detroit. That's where I'm watching this one in the mix with Sportsnet for Cooper. As this pass is a breakout, here's a complete fan. It was a breakaway for the Flames. That might have been Farabee, as this is now the other way for Detroit off the wraparound. End up doing a loop here for Berger, and his pass picked off by Huberdeau. And now the Flames can push the other way with Nazem Kadri. Kadri now off the drop for Joel Farabee. He's wearing number 86, as this was put in amongst the end boards. Good hit there for Nazem, trying to dispossess the puck here from Detroit. They don't even have a shot on goal. Post don't count. And Berggren and Edmondson, I'll try to get this one out off the flip, and they just keep trying to send this one down. That's going to get blown dead against Detroit. Again, shots are 6-0, and it's 15 minutes in the first.
Yeah, John, this is a really impressive start right there. We do get a shot of Farabee on the bench right there. I think he was looking for that opportunity. Got a great pass all the way through the neutral zone and had a partial breakaway there and just sailed it a little bit wide on the glove side. I do think that there was a nice back check right there by the wings as well.
Yeah, you had to have that just a little bit from Moritz Seider. Offensive zone draw. And the Red Wings now get a chance to get this one off the tie. Elmer Soderblom, all 6'8" of him, loses the puck as this one goes the other way. Kind of reminds me of Zdeno Chara. I know not that much size, but he's a large human being. Fisher in the corner off the stick lift. Detroit will escape. It's Joe Valeno on the fourth line with Dominic Shine on the off wing. Here's a wrister saved from Fisher and Wolf and brushed in the corner. As the Flames will try to get this one on across the red line. Here's a spin and turn. Bishop. Send this one in alongside Lombard. and the Red Wings will have to start from their own end. Red Wings do get their first shot on goal. It's 6-1, 14-20 in the first shot. I'm with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. We will switch in the second and half it in the third. He's going to get the home ice advantage today, will Cooper, as this will be picked up off the chop. Now an opportunity here. Frost off the spin. Nice move, Tyson Barrie, as he tries to get to the left side red line. He gets dispossessed of the puck there for a moment for Mo Seider. He might be playing maybe 30 minutes in this game, they're saying, as this one's sent in around the end boards for Ben Sherratt. Sherratt now will take a rolling puck. This will be handled by Barrie, who's normally the power play specialist. Marty Pospis will flip it in. And now an opportunity for Sherratt and Kaspers on the back check, part of that first line. Seider right to Kaspers' skates, and that was beautifully played there ahead for Dylan Larkin as he lost in the corner to Backlund. And we'll rope this around one more time. Coronado off the long flip. This will be settled back down for Johansson. Johansson now will start this one again left to right. Red Wings touch pass, looking for Lucas Raymond, who's trying to split the seam back and behind the net. Back pass for Dylan Larkin. Under duress, back to Lucas Raymond. Raymond now tried to touch it one to Johansson, but he lost it in between his skate blades, and the stick goes flying. It took out Larkin's stick. So the Red Wings essentially be down a man into the captaincy. Gets one. They have him in the corner. Lucas Raymond trying to keep it alive. This shot gets blocked out in front, and the Flames will send this one down. A rolling puck. Nicely played for Backlund. And we'll just chip this one in. He's already near the change. He'll do so. 12:45 left to go in this first, as Talbot has already been really good so far for Detroit, and they've needed every one of it because the Flames have been on fire here, pun intended, as this is now dropped for Soderblom. Hall will take this one D-to-D shot. He gets tipped. This goes right back to the Red Wings, try to feed Rasmussen out in front of that third line. Rasmussen now will get this away from Hanley, tipped again. Wolf able to get a stick on it, as that broken twig is still near the right side red line. Hall, Farabee trying to find it. Must be lost in between some skates here. Farabee tries to poke it ahead, and Dustin Wolf will slow it down. And on the back check is Joe Veleno trying to make things difficult as the Flames finally get acquiesced here with Hanley. And now Nazem Kadri. Kadri off the rush. He takes a wrister. This one goes wide of Talbot toward the left side post. Nazem now first to get to it, falling down to make a play. And the Red Wings have to spin that Seider in his own end. And it feels like the Flames are everywhere right now as Joe Veleno just trying to do a do-si-do to get it out of the zone as Fisher ends up getting around. Here's Seider now with Fisher, and Bean gets hit as this is toward the right side. Fisher still battling with the puck nicely. What a pass! And Larkin scores!
My goodness, Sean, that is a huge turn of events right there, and it's right through Uyghur. I don't think he even saw Larkin coming, and boy, leave it to number 71 in white to turn the game on its head right there. The Flames looking stunned after really having the run of play here, and it's Larkin who makes it 1-0 for the visitors. Man, the Wings are jacked up right now.
They have to be. Dominic Shine, again, he spent the last 9 seasons with the Grand Rapids Griffins. He just got called up. This is his third game, and then alongside Fisher, who was battling for the puck, Shine able to get that one over to Larkin, snipe that one on the long side, and I don't think there was anything Dustin Wolf could do about it because he never saw it.
No, definitely didn't. Uyghur essentially was the screen there, and boy, Larkin with all of that speed comes flying in. That's what you need from your leadership right there. After almost half a period has gone against you, you turn this game on its head. It's now 1-0 on the second shot for the Red Wings.
Long shot again as this one's stuck in the corner. See if the Red Wings get some energy off of this, as Cooper already alluded to. They can thank Dylan Larkin, but most importantly, Cam Talbot, who's been terrific. This will fall back to Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, John, Wolfie looking a little out of sorts there as the puck was bouncing around his net. I think he was just trying to get a view of it when the puck was behind him in the trapezoid. It bounced out in front. Luckily, not a clean shot on net right there, but I think he wanted to cover things up right away as we hit the media timeout. And hey, as a Wings man over there, just a couple thousand miles away from where I am here on the West Coast, you got to be feeling pretty good about how things have flipped on their net.
Cooper, I have to say this as objectively as possible. When I look in the East, we talk about the Islanders, Canadians, Rangers, Bruins, Lightning, Jackets. The Jackets are in WC1. The Wings are still 3 points out. I know the Kings got the win today in the Pacific side, Cooper, but they were 2-7-1 in their last stretch of games, and Calgary's threatening for the third spot in the Pacific.
Yeah, definitely interesting stuff happening. I mean, the Kings won today. We can go through the scoreboard when we have a little more time. We'll wait till the intermission for that. But yeah, lots of movement, a lot of potential for things to shift. But you know, as we now get into February, it's the first day of the month, we start inching a little bit closer to when things come down to crunch time, John.
I know I don't want to send everything away because we're going to talk about the trades that happened last week. We have to hit the big one. We're going to talk about the recent ones. And then in the second intermission, we're going to have our own little powwow between one of Cooper's bitter rivals because there's been so much going on there. Again, I know Ian is listening in. I appreciate that, my friend. And I will say this. Alongside it, you will not believe some of the comments that have been made by former GM in Vancouver and Jim Rutherford. So stick around for that in the second intermission, but in the first, we'll talk about the Calgary trades. We'll talk about Mikko Rantanen, and we got a lot to do.
Yes, we do. No, there is plenty, and I'm excited to get into it. When we get back here, my side, as you mentioned, it's the Sportsnet feed, and man, I'm just thrilled to be on the call tonight, John. Man, oh man, I think we're going to be in for a good one here as we see Ryan Huska behind the bench of the Calgary Flames, and Farabee out on the ice now for Calgary once again. We'll see if the Flames can tie this thing up.
Yeah, me too, my friend. And again, I'm hoping that the Flames take it to OT and win it, so at least everybody can get some points because I know that we need to get that. That's what I always say, but I know it came down to game time as far as me trying to get in here, but I'm so glad we're able to. I would have been bummed if we would have missed this one, as this is picked up now for Mackenzie Weegar. And now Weegar will start this again. It's a good outstretched pass to awesome country and a save 5-hole for Talbot.
Yeah, that is a good stop right there by Cam Talbot. Just a minimal rebound. He spots it immediately, gets that big paddle in it, around it, I should say, and corrals it down. Calgary trying to get that tie goal that I tried to speak into existence a moment ago. But really nice stretch pass right there by the Flames. They are showing some confidence. They're not afraid to get that puck through the middle of the ice as quickly as possible. It's resulted in a couple of chances now.
So 4 points in the last 7 games against Detroit for Nazem, as this is a face-off win for the Flames. Fire it right on. This one goes high. We'll stay in play. Hanley's got to get back on his horse. They'll just shove one in the corner. Marco Kasper is going to take puck possession. Unbelievably, the Red Wings are up 1-0, courtesy of Dylan Larkin's speed. Again, Cooper and I said, he said it outstandingly here, that kind of breaking out of nowhere with that speed caught everybody by surprise. Talbot with a shovel pass. This one ends up working out. Raymond now off the 2-on-2 on the side. Save Wolf, big rebound, but the Wings can't get a stick on it right in front of the net. Otherwise, it would have been 2-0. As Coleman takes a long shot from 100, stopped by Talbot. And Edmondson now trying to get around the body contact of Blake Coleman, the former Stanley Cup champion of Tampa Bay Lightning. I know we mentioned that several times, as this one is sent around the inboards now. Larkin in the mix with Marty Pospisil. And Edmondson one more time. He's being a little nonchalant, getting that puck out. Here's Pahal, slapper. This one blocked. This will stay in play now as this works in the corner for Igor Sharangovich. And now flip back down. Flames couldn't hold it in. It's a rolling puck. This will be iced against Detroit, however.
Yeah, that one backhanded down the length of the ice, I should say, and the Flames get down there with Barry, who was called up recently and is now with the big club. But, John, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Red Wings here. I think that's a classic hockey moment. You get your life from an unexpected goal, and it takes a little moment of skill. That's what we saw. Red Wings look a little better here and have created a couple of chances in front of Wolf that made the Flames a little nervous.
And you told me about this the other day, Cooper, when you sent me that text, and I agree with you as far as this goes on a play in the bench. But the Red Wings were that way against the Edmonton Oilers just the other night as we go to break. They were down 2-0. All of a sudden, they get a long shot deflection from Rasmussen. Larkin scores. They get life, they carry the play, and they beat the Oilers in a shootout. That's a good win for them.
Yeah, and Calgary Flames fans like myself were happy to see that. So I wanted to make sure to reach out and say thank you, sir, as we hit our next commercial break here. But yeah, John, this is an interesting time here as the Flames are going to have to find a way to quickly gel with their new teammates And again, I know we keep teasing this thing. We're going to go over it
Yeah.
all, but I'm also going to keep an eye on. I'll just give you the basic thought in my brain right now. What are we going to see from number 10 in red? You and I have talked about Jonathan Huberdeau and his performance, and in previous seasons, the lack thereof, as his time on the Flames has been a little up and down, a little more toward the downside in those first a couple of campaigns. But he's turned things around this year, and I just wonder, with the exit of one of his best friends and teammates in Peltier, how he might be feeling personally. Will that translate? I know a lot of us are thinking about that.
I think that's a great point by you, Cooper, because I'm looking at now from the NHL lines. If it is the way it is today, it's another line mate for Jonathan Huberdeau and Joel Farabee, and that's going to take some time again to build that chemistry.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, hey, these guys are professionals and the best in the world. You got to expect that they're going to go out and do their job to the best of their ability. But hey, we're people too, and that was a very special bond. Two French Canadian guys, Huberdeau and Peltier, who love playing with one another and being on the same team, working toward the same goals. Peltier, of course, began his professional career with the Flames, being drafted, loved playing for the team, and finds himself out east now in Philadelphia. Could be a great opportunity for him. He was actually on waivers earlier this year and was not picked up, so that's another angle that we can discuss. But let's see how Huberdeau does tonight. Hopefully he can get on the score sheet, because the Flames are going to need him as they're down 1-0.
Cooper, I have to mention this. I'm so glad this was showed on the FanDuel site for Detroit. They showed Battle of Alberta in 2020, and Cam Talbot was fighting Mike Smith.
Well, hey, that's a classic. Can't be the goalie goal, and shortly behind it, just a short ways behind it, is a goalie scrap. And Talbot, listen, I love that he wanted to go toe-to-toe with Smitty, but if we're being honest, I think Talbot's caught a couple of rights. I think got a couple of haymakers. But you know what? He stood with them, and I got to respect him.
So I appreciate that show. And then hopefully, again, Cooper and I will get a chance to cover Battle of Alberta. I'm just hoping one of our teams gets in the playoffs, but I'm always rooting for the Flames on that. Why not both? It's been due. I think that's going to happen sooner than later, even before we get to like 2027. I think that'd be the latest. The Flames already be rebuilt, so will the Red Wings. I'm pretty positive of that. Here's a long outstretched pass, and this will be offsides, I believe.
I think you are right. And John, listen, I know we have our biases, and we always try to stay as neutral as possible and keep it professional, but I will stand by this. I think that bias aside, the NHL playoffs are always better, a little more exciting when the Detroit Red Wings are part of the mix. Just knowing the pedigree, the history of the franchise, just feels a little more dramatic when the Red Wings are part of the dance.
I do want to get your thoughts when we get another little bit of a stoppage there, but I appreciate that. And I would say the same thing with the Flames with all the players that we've seen throughout the years. They look a lot different, but yet the rebuild doesn't seem to really take that long right now, and there's still so much left to do. Conroy's done an excellent job. Rasmus Anderson, this will be gloved by Talbot. And I want to ask you here quickly, Cooper, what do you think about Todd McLellan behind the bench for Detroit now?
Listen, this is not going to be an analytical response. This is just an emotional response, or just my observation, just a straight aesthetic response.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, John, it feels right. It looks right. I like it. Obviously, the results so far have made that response a little bit easier for me to say, but it just seems like the right fit.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of experience in between a very young Edmonton team, San Jose, the LA Kings. He's won everywhere he's won. It kind of makes me wonder why it took so long just to have him get a job again. I'm just being completely honest, as this one is sent back in behind the end boards. 8:20 left to go in the first. I won't say the Flames have slowed down a little bit. Big reverse hit takes a stick out of the hand of one of the Flames, as this will go the other way now. But I think Detroit needs to get this slowed down a little because the Flames are on fire. Morgan Foss off the touch pass from Sharon Govich, and they'll send it in the corner. And at least for this one, I'm talking out loud here, but between Frost and Farabee, yes, you want to score and you want to do damage on the sheet, but I kind of wonder, at least in this game, just to keep things simple and keep the puck moving and let the Flames do what they do. Good alert of a hit off the drop. Wings are going to try to get numbers here. We'll see what they get. DeBrincat, and this will go right into Wolf's glove.
Yeah, nice stop by Wolf right there. Talbot had one earlier on Raz Anderson, and now Wolf makes a routine save, which I think is good for both goalies. You want to just get a few of those under your belt, and that is just the fourth official shot on goal for the Wings, who lead by 1. None on the score sheet yet for Calgary, even though they've been close several times. And yeah, John, no, your point is well taken. I'm also looking here just to see if potentially the Frosts and Farabees of the world for the Flames can just settle in without knowing the system completely, right? How do they look on the ice? Are they going to be able to facilitate with their line mates, etc.?
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. I'm glad we both agree on that side because it's what you have to do, especially in the open. You know, they're skilled players. You got Casper now tied up with Coronado. That one just missed the right side of the post as Raymond will try to get a piece back for Dylan Larkin. It was a centering feed in to be stick chopped away, and the Flames will at least get this one through neutral Michael Backlund as we got 7:05 left to go in the first. Boys are back in business here. John out here with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. We'll definitely switch in a second. Got a lot of trades to talk about. We will get in all the nitty gritty. It's going to take both intermissions, and I'll try to keep it as speedy as possible where it needs to be. As this one goes in the corner for Kopp, and then in around the end boards. Here's a race for it. Gustafsson in the mix for Bishop. Bishop now trying to fight this, but Vlad Tarasenko, his second game back from injury, forced the steal. Flames get it right back. Bishop fires it on, and Cam Talbot makes an easy glove save.
Yeah, nice to see Clark Bishop getting involved right here. Yeah, good easy glove save. Talbot's got a few of those in a row. And you know who I'm seeing on the ice there who got that shot off? I believe it was actually Klapka, who is the Flames entry for a 6'8" player on the ice tonight.
Can I say this too? I don't know if you saw all the highlights in that Tuesday game against the Washington Capitals. I know the cross-check a little bit, but that hit on Tom Wilson was legendary.
Yeah, that's Klapka with his mock turtleneck and all. He can do everything, including toe drag, as he had a beauty recently for the Flames. He's been a nice addition to the lineup.
Yeah, it's a lot of good work there on the fourth line side, and I mean this in the most earnest way. Alongside for Ryan Huska, you know, you had some of those injuries there. We talk about Anthony Mantha and Justin Kirkland and some of the others that they wish they still had, but it really doesn't matter for the Flames right now as a team by committee. They've been really able to do everything effectively, and they haven't really missed a beat all year.
Yeah, that's true. You do point out the great story and the shootout wonder that is Justin Kirkland. I know he's looking forward to getting back, which will not happen until next season. So the Flames have lost a couple of pieces for the entire year, and not to mention the Connor Zary injury. He is starting to skate again, but probably won't be back in full action until the spring hits. So Flames are just hoping to get him back for what they hope to be a stretch run where they can secure a playoff spot.
Yeah, and again, we're going to see the way that this is going. We still got a little more than halfway of the season, a little bit less, but this is really heating up. Again, all the moves that have been made. We're already thinking the deadline's in March, but we just started February, so everybody trying to get their business done early, and there's a lot of jockeying for position as Kadri's pass. That one was lazy, and it was picked off by Joe Valeno, so put this in the left side, and Wolf will go ahead and stop this one immediately. As the Flames, little failed clear, they'll get it right back. Marty Pospisil can take this one in stride to the left side wing off foot. And Detroit now drop for Albert Johansson. Johansson will brush it into the corner there. As this is loose out in front, Flames able to get it, throw it toward the net, bounce off a couple of skate blades. Flames get it now in the high slot. Here's an opportunity for Frost, who lets it go. Good save, Talbot. A lot of traffic as this will be settled back down now for Calgary. Have to take this one again. Igor Sharangovich, as this one goes in the corner. One of the wings is beat up blocking that shot. I didn't get a number on that, but you can see them bending down. That's Christian Fisher now. With 5 minutes left to go in the first, he's going right to the room. Oh, boy. As Backlund will try to get this one the other way. I'm going to hit him in the hand. As Raymond able to get this one ahead. That'll be the fourth line side. This will be held by Wolf.
Yeah, John, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Number 36 there for the Red Wings. I think you're correct. Looks like he was able to use that lower body pretty normally to get to the bench, but he went right back to the dressing room. Hopefully he is okay. We're getting a second look here on the Sportsnet side. My goodness, that is actually making contact with him on the left leg, just above the knee. So I don't care how thick the hockey pants are. That is a tough spot right there. You're catching it right on the soft spot of that quad. So hopefully he can get a little bit of ice and a quick rest and come on back.
That's what you're hoping for on the fourth line side, because if you think about it for Detroit, I know some injuries, some big, some small. No Tyler Mott, no JT Compher, and Patrick Kane is on a retroactive IR at least for a few weeks. So they're definitely going to miss a couple of those players, especially Compher and Kane.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going through a couple of basic game stats, this has not been a particularly physical game early. I'll be curious to see if that ramps up, as can be the case, John, as it has been in games we've covered. And I think in general, things when the games are played as closely as this one, the physicality can turn up. But 10 hits right now for the Flames to the 3 for the visiting Red Wings. The giveaway meter right now very much against the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
6 giveaways, which has led to several opportunities directly for the Flames. And they actually had a good shift there before the break, getting a couple of chances, keeping the puck in the zone. That would have been one of my comments, John, that they weren't having a lot of extended zone time, even though they started the game with such force. But a nice job on that last shift to keep it in the O-zone and get some tries at Talbot.
That's a good look on the stats by you, because I was going to say this. I know it wasn't that long ago when we covered the Red Wings. It was about a month and a half. But we said this in the first time when the Red Wings were really humming on the power play, and they still are. And the Flames' penalty kill's not been a strength. Right now, we haven't seen any penalties either way.
You're absolutely right, John. And you know, listen, that's classic hockey color commentary. That special teams are going to matter tonight.
Yeah.
Right now, they have not come into play. I doubt that we're going to see 5-on-5 the whole way. So, you know, can the Flames and Nazem Kadri in particular, who's so good at it, create an opportunity to draw a penalty, maybe get that man advantage?
Yeah, Nazem Kadri's already had one breakaway. He was almost looking for a second earlier in this game as well. Flames have had a good period, if not for the Larkin pretty much breaking out of nowhere to give the Red Wings a 1-0 lead, and that's still where we sit. Rasmus Andersson now from Hanley. Hanley surveys. This will bounce off Johansson right to Rasmus Andersson, who lets a bomb go. This one on the left side blue line bounces off of Michael Backlund. Coleman gets possession. Good spot to shoot from. And Talbot was way out of the crease, but they couldn't hit. As this goes back now for Backlund. One more time, Hanley sends this one crisscross. Coronado, Rasmus Andersson, severe angle as Coleman got knocked down. He was all tied up with Moritz Seider, and the Red Wings able to escape. Dylan Larkin might have just iced this one, and he will. It'll be Flames puck. Red Wings can't change.
Yeah, John, that's another good shift right now. So a couple of shifts, maybe even 3 in a row for the Flames that look very good. And we get a little pushing and shoving here with Blake Coleman. He's in a mix there with Seider, Casper, Sherratt, and a couple Larkins in there, and so is Hanley for the Flames. Things are starting to heat up, just as I said. The hitting isn't really being a factor yet. Maybe I stand corrected, my friend.
We didn't see that too much in between the first game between these two, but you never know. You got the home crowd behind you at the Saddle Dome. You got that long home stretch. The Flames have been playing well. The Wings have been playing well. Maybe this is going to mean just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. And we get another good look at that Rasmus Andersson full clapper right there. And Talbot looked so calm and casual. I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks, right? You're about 15 feet away from a defender who has some offensive prowess. And Talbot just stood right in there. Easy saves.
He's been very strong right now as Kadri tries to pinball it off the Talbot. And this will go back through neutral as the Red Wings take their change. Jake Bean. I think the Flames were offsides.
Yeah, this is actually a good opportunity for me as I take a peek. I think I'm about 5 or 6 seconds behind you there, and it looks like Kadri, who is skating backwards, just crossed that blue line a little bit early. So 3:36 to go here in the first. Getting another look. Boy, we're not seeing a ton of frost being featured on the Sportsnet feed, but Farabee's getting a lot of looks. So I guess the Sportsnet cameramen are expecting a lot out of number 86. One of the 2 new Calgary Flames.
We're going to talk about that a lot more, as Cooper's alluding to. This one goes up and on play, and I'm glad that Cooper also referencing the time as far as the feed, because if I go TV on Sportsnet, I might be about 35 seconds ahead. So I'm going to stay where I am, as, again, they're going through the trade recap. We'll talk about that more. So I'm not even going to acknowledge what Detroit is showing me on the screen, because we're going to break that all down at the end of this.
Yeah, no question about it. And listen, the Flames are hoping to get some scoring prowess, not only from their new roster members, but the rest of that team as well. They're one of the lowest scoring teams in the NHL. That's the case right now. They got zipped on that scoreboard to the Detroit Red Wings won here with about 3 to go in the first.
Yeah, this game's still been tight. Again, I would say the Flames have taken advantage of this period. I know they haven't scored, but they've been the better team so far, but not on the scoreboard just yet. As DeBrincat off the drop, here's Kopp, his pass deflected by Wolf with the stick. As this will be banked as Kopp now and Frost will battle for the puck. This goes back around for Jake Bean, and this will be lifted around for Mackenzie Weegar. Nice play for Jonathan Berggren off the half spin, just to steal and send it back in. Kopp now, and amongst the walls, Detroit will just keep this in apparently toward the left side line, and now Bean will have to spin back around. The Flames stuck in their own end for the moment. Marty Pospisil thought about it, and he will take an extra pass, and this will be iced against the Flames.
Yeah, so the icings have picked up here just a little bit. I think that's still a product of the Flames trying to keep pressure on the wings. The shot count has been adjusted for Calgary, by the way. It was briefly up to 12. It's back down to 11. So, John, what I'm seeing here, if we put the icing aside, is that the Flames, they got some shots on within the first even 5 minutes or so. I think they notched that shot clock up to about 6 or 7, and things have cooled off just a touch, at least in the shot department. There have been some deflections in front, but nothing to pay off yet.
Yeah, we can see, and I know I'm just prognosticating a little bit, but if they can get around 35 from where they're pacing, I do think that's going to be good for them. The shots have been high quality, been able to get some steals in the slide. You talk about the 6 giveaways for Detroit. We'll see if that will pay off in time. Dylan Larkin gets dispossessed. It's Backlund with Sharangovich. Backlund will spin around here as he'll just go ahead and get settled here as this goes back to Rasmus off the back skate. Good pursuit for Lucas Raymond as Matthew Coronado coming off a natural hat. This will be sent in now for Coleman. Takes a big ride against the boards. Dylan Larkin's there, but he turned it right over, and a chance out in front. The Flames couldn't get a stick on it. It was Rasmus Anderson and Hanley off the pinball. As we got a minute 35 thereabouts left in the first round here with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. Going to get set to close this first. The Red Wings have 1 goal from Dylan Larkin, but that's it. Over or under was sitting at 5.5. That's usually where we are in the NHL spectrum. Who knows if we'll get to it? I think both of these goalies are good. As this one will be bounced out of the air. Bishop in between a couple of Flames and Lomberg, and now this will race the other way. Flames will get there first. As this is toward the right side, it's turnover for a moment. Rasmussen gets it with Soderblom. Soderblom now will send it in the corner for Michael Rasmussen. A no-look feed back in behind the boards. Rasmussen will let it go around the end boards with the stick as players come together, finish a hit, long shot. Doesn't hit the net. Red Wings now able to keep this one in toward the right side blue line. Soderblom fights in amongst his skates. Red Wings fire and score! A sharp angle chance before the end of the period. And that's a big goal for Edmondson.
Boy, that is huge. And the last thing the Calgary Flames needed, boy, that was a snipe right there. Double sevens right there, and it's double goals for the Detroit Red Wings. Happens to be the 7th shot for those Red Wings as well. Boy, Edmondson with a beauty as he releases one right there past Wolf on the blocker side. Flames with just 45 seconds to go here in the first. They are doubled up now in the first period, 2-0. Man, what a shot and what a goal.
I got to tell you this. Again, Ivinson was only about 1.5 years with the Griffins. That was one of the guys in the first round that Yzerman immediately identified as a goal-scoring defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman. He's got a big size, can do some damage, and that really was a snipe. I know 5-hole through Wolf. Not a lot of angle, but that was a seeing eye shot.
Yeah, it certainly was. I got a couple of good Sportsnet angles there, and those are tough goals to stop no matter where you are. I don't think there's much that Wolfie could have done about that. But, man, the eye test tells you the Flames should maybe even have this game tied.
Yes.
Some opportunities, but bouncing pucks right there. You had a defenseman down in the crease to Wolf's left. I think they were outnumbered right there, and a nice pass across. The Red Wings did what they need to do. It's 2-0.
Bean, Weegar lets it go. Good blocker save for Talbot as the Flames really desperate to try to get something going in the final minute. Again, it's only 2, but the Red Wings started the other way on Thursday against Edmonton and won. The Flames could do the same. Kadri gets all tied up. It's an odd-man rush. Tarasenko on the off wing. This one saved by Wolf, and that was huge.
Wow, John, that's a good back check right there by the Flames. Really like to see that effort skating back because for a moment my goodness, my friend, it was a 3-on-1, and then Bean comes flying back to take away a pass in the lane. But not a great play by Calgary right there. A little bit of a classic case trying to do it all yourself, and it really backfired. Could have been 3-0 right there. Great save by Wolf.
Absolutely. That's the biggest one of the game right now, trying to keep your team into this. They've largely played very well, as we talked about, but the score line's against them. It's an ozone draw for Larkin. He doesn't win it. And Hanley now might just take this right to the dressing room. So at the end of one, 2-0, it's the mix of Edvinsson and Larkin.
Yeah, you are right, John Ott. It's got to feel pretty good there as the green light comes on, zeros on the clock, and the teams head to their respective dressing rooms. 2-0 Wings. And, hey, for Dustin Wolf, who's getting a little supportive pat on the pads right there from one of his teammen. That's not what you love to see. Not that I'm blaming him by any stretch, but, for a guy who's in the Calder conversation, and dare I say, even the Vezina conversation, depending on who you ask, you don't want to give up 2 goals on only 8 shots in the first. So the Flames got some work to do. Definitely need to settle back in and find the game they had in that first 5-minute stretch of that opening period.
All right, Cooper, I know we can go through the scoreboard. I'm going to elect not to do that right now because I just want to see how much time we got in the first. So this I'm going to go through quickly, and then we'll take some time. So trade today, Dallas Stars get Michael Granlund and Ceci from the Sharks. Sharks do well. They get a first and a third in this year's draft. Brandon Saad from a couple days ago signs a 1 and 1.5 contract termination from the Blues. He signs with the Vegas Golden Knights for the rest of the year. Tony DeAngelo, Adam Boquist are now Islanders. And one last thing really quickly, I know we're going to talk about Grubauer, but Yanni Gourde, this is unfortunate. He's out 5 to 7 weeks with the sports hernia. That's incredibly painful. And Philip Grubauer, he clears waivers. He's going to report to the AHL Coachella Valley Firebirds.
Yeah, so many developments here. Let me start with Saad, who, listen, I think that where he landed in Vegas is actually great for him. He may not be the Brandon Saad of old, but I think he still has a lot to offer. And there were actually some folks in the Twitterverse out on the internet, Calgary Flames fans, who were saying, hey, Craig Conroy, why not take a shot on Brandon Saad? Of course, it didn't come to pass, but I think that's a great spot for him. As a Kraken fan, a distant second. I love those Kraken. We saw them together live, buddy. That was some good memories right there. But that's a tough one. There have been some tough developments for the Kraken this year. It hasn't been, I think, the bounce-back season that they were hoping for. Not that they're completely out of anything, but just some challenges up there in Seattle, and you can't lose a guy like Yanni Gourde. There's really no other detail that needs to be said, but just hoping for a quick and complete recovery for him. I think any hockey fan can agree with that sentiment. And also for the Sharks, listen, the Sharks haven't been in the spotlight too much because of the lack of success over the past few seasons. But getting that draft capital, that is the way you have to do it in the modern NHL. And, I think they probably ideally would have liked to keep the guys that they had to shuttle out. But you know what? When it comes to getting those draft picks, you got to do it. So they made that call, and here's to San Jose continuing to bounce back because it takes me back to 2004. Like I said about the Wings, I think that the Sharks are always so exciting in the NHL playoffs as well. So hopefully they can get back to that spot without too much delay.
Yeah, and again, alongside Will Smith, Macklin, Brady, and company, I know it's going to take a little while to rebuild, as you talk about, but I do think they're doing it the right way. This is where we will spend most of our time, and then we're going to talk about the Flames trade as well. Last week, but Cooper and I haven't got a chance to talk about it. I haven't had a chance to talk about it in detail. The biggest trade of all, Carolina Hurricanes acquire the Moose, Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. The Colorado Avalanche gave Marty Natchez, Jack Drury, a second and a fourth in 2026. The Chicago Blackhawks retain 50% of Rantanen's cap hit at 4.625 and get a third in this upcoming draft. Mikko Rantanen, just want to let everybody know before Cooper breaks it down, coming off back-to-back seasons with 100-plus points. He's had up to 55 goals and 62 assists. He's an absolute superstar.
Yeah, listen, that's about all the breakdown you need right there. And I think, working backwards, I think that the Blackhawks, they've been treated a little bit like the kid brother in this trade. So you know what? They're in the trade, but they're almost an afterthought.
Yep.
So let's focus on Rantanen here. I think he's going to make an immediate impact, as you can imagine, based on what John has covered. Not a ton to add there because he's just that caliber. He can be a franchise changer. I know that Colorado fans, I think to a great degree, were pretty stunned to see that he was going to be moving on. And there is a lot of this that is TBD, right, John? That's to be determined. Is this the right move for the locker room? As I see Craig Conroy now during the intermission, he's actually with desk crew from Sportsnet. He's on the headset up there in the press level, which is high up above the Saddle Dome ice level. The reason why I'm mentioning Craig Conroy is Rantanen, now just having reached his new team, already being talked about because he's on that expiring contract, right? So, I'm seeing it from the Flames perspective. Many of those Flames fans who are saying, hey, take a shot with Brandon Saad, I think their mouths are watering thinking about the potential of Rantanen looking for a new, more permanent home, obviously with a high dollar value with some term. But, John, let me just throw it back to you. You think Rantanen is in a position now with his new team where he is likely to stay? Or do you think that he's going to be more apt to test that market? And would he even be willing to go to a quote-unquote smaller market team like the Flames, or you think he's looking to make something splashy and head to like maybe it's Los Angeles, New York, etc.?
So as far as more likely to stay, I'm going to tell you, I'll break that down in totality in a second because we got an NHL announcement and other stuff that we have to talk about in Vancouver. So that question will be answered. But as far as right now, that's the main key. Because when you think about it last year, what did Carolina do? They made a huge splash with Pittsburgh to try to acquire Jake Getzel. And again, they only had him for half a season. He signs for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He is dominating. I do think, Cooper, I'm going to say this in the most forthright honesty as I can. Carolina, if they win the Stanley Cup as a rental, fine. Rantanen works out. Anything less than winning and not keeping Mikko Rantanen, I have to say is a failure because he's 28 years old. Yes, I know he might want $14, $15 million, but you just traded for a superstar, and those guys don't grow on trees. They don't just fall right to you. You got to keep them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and you said it. That key number right there, 28. We're not talking about the classic trades,
right?
Where we get some movement with an aging superstar who's maybe got a good year or two left before things really start to fade. This is somebody in their prime. When we think about classic hockey player prime, we're looking at another potentially 4 years, maybe even 5 years of legitimate prime. One of the top forwards in the National Hockey League. And I think Carolina probably makes the deal. Discussing with his team, we don't know what was said behind closed doors, but you've got to think that they probably don't finalize it if there's not at least potential. Am I right?
I agree with you completely. I don't think you make that move just for a happenstance for the season. There's got to be some sort of long term. I want to ask you this really quickly, and then I'll give you a trivia question. That should be fun. Do you think this was the right move for the Avalanche? Because when you look between Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, you know what cap hell is going to look like. The Avalanche didn't want that. I know you're never going to get the return that you want. Marty Natras is about a 70-point player. But look, Cale Makar in a couple of years could be up, and he could want north of $15 million.
Yeah, and I think, again, John, you tee it up so nicely for me. I think that looking at the remaining superstars, and I use that word making it sound like they're on the fringe. We're talking about the Makars, we're talking about the McKinnons. There's a ton of talent on that Avalanche team, which you and I have discussed is in a bit of on a balance beam in a way, where they are obviously have been extremely successful. We're talking about Stanley Cups. We're talking about deep cup runs. We're talking about, even when they were sort of surprisingly upset by the Kraken in that series that we covered not all that long ago, but now feels like ancient history because of these massive trades and these changes that are happening. I think you have to assume that the front office is looking toward keeping, not that Rantanen wasn't part of the core, but whose faces are going to, on posters in kids' rooms in Denver and Colorado. And Rantanen, sure, he might be on a few, but you're looking at Makar, you're looking at McKinnon, and then you're looking at everybody else. And so, like I said, you teed it up for me nicely. You got to be looking a few years ahead. You don't want to get to the dreaded rebuild, as we all are hesitant to say, even Flames fans. We're not really in a rebuild. We're retooling. We're just resetting. Okay, pick whatever word you want. I think the Avalanche are trying to avoid that situation where they need to bottom out. And so you make a choice now, which is a difficult one. Maybe not too popular because of how extremely good Rantanen is. But it may end up being the right call. And you hope that Nietzsche's can replace at least some amount of what Rantanen gives you. And that's a tough task.
I mean, at least even for Natchez, Cooper, I'll just say this really quickly before I move on. Natchez, they're still trying to fill that role that Nazem Kadri had all those years ago when they won the Cup.
Yeah, another good point. These ripples from these changes, they matter and they last longer than we might expect. Because, we move on to the next hot news item. We move on to the next playoff run. We move on to the next, trade deadline. And there are still repercussions being felt, both positive and negative, for a lot of franchises. And, I think you even look at the Flames' future, what they need to do. They're making moves now. And Craig Conroy, not afraid to move out. Listen, I know Peltier is nowhere near, and probably, listen, I love the guy, will never be anywhere near what Rantanen provides, and probably not even what Kadri provides, but was a great presence on the bench in the community. You have to make tough calls. You got to make tough calls. Will a Kadri continue, even though he's on a large contract? Do you think he'll stick around with the Flames? Might he be moved at some point for younger players? Lots of interesting stuff happening in the West. And I will have my eyes on Colorado for sure.
All right, I'm going to break down the Flames here in 30 seconds, but here's some trivia. Though we should have some fun with this. So keep note, Moose, it marks only the 5th time a 50-goal scorer in the NHL has been traded to another team. Think about how long the NHL has been around. Can you name the other 4? I will give you a couple hints, and one of them is a team that's playing tonight, 2003 cover athlete.
Yeah, well, again, now you're serving me softballs.
Yes.
You may be talking about Mr. Jerome McGinley, if I'm not mistaken.
Jerome McGinley, and then again a Stanley Cup final rival, another team.
Oh, Mike. Okay, now you're going to really test me here. I'm trying to think back. Are we looking at somebody like Marty St. Louis?
Yes, very close. A teammate of.
Or are we talking like Vinny Lecavalier?
Yes, you got it. So there's one other one I know, and then one other one I had to look up. We got all the right answers. One was a member of the Atlanta Thrashers before he went to the New Jersey Devils in the prison sentence deal.
Well, that one I think is famous. Any hockey fan who's been around back to that era, gosh, I forget the year, but that feels like ancient history, but really ultimately wasn't all that long ago. Are we talking about the Ilya Kovalchuk?
Yes, we are. And then the only other one, because I didn't know it, I'm sure I could toss it up to you, but a goal scorer for the Ottawa Senators. I don't know how long ago he was around, but Danny Heatley was the only other one that joins the 5 of the Moose. So you don't trade 50 goal scorers very often. That's why I wanted to mention it.
Man, well, hey, it is certainly interesting times, and those ripple effects that we talked about. I mean, hey, the Iginla ripple effects that impacted the Flames and their roster, and there were pieces that came back in that trade that ended up being non-factors. But thinking about when you're bringing in draft picks exiting, who those players become, where they're traded, you can trace the trading history back so far. It's almost that everything is connected. It's really a web, and it's so interesting to hear. Man, it takes me back to the Ilya Kovalchuk days. That is, and I have to use the word infamous. That deal really ended up being an albatross. But hey, he was a great player in his time. But,
yes, he was.
Man, that contract was crazy.
So with the Flames and the Flyers, we'll have enough time to do this. We'll split the other stuff for the second, try to get it planned out as clean as we can. Jacob Peltier, 24 games played, at about 60-something in his career, 11 points plus 10. Andrei Kuzmenko, 28 years old, 15 points in the -7. Got to remember for Kuzmenko, about 3 seasons ago, his 81 games as a rookie in 2022-23 had 74 points for the Canucks and a +9. So it's Peltier, Kuzmenko, a 2nd and a 7th on the move for Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. I just want to make this very quickly for Farabee. He signed $5 million per until 2028. That's not a whole heck of a lot at 24 years of age. And Morgan Frost will be an RFA. He makes $2.10 million so far. And Farabee, coming off of a career high 22 goals, 28 assists, 50 points, And Frost has been a 50-point player as well. I don't think that's too much for Craig Conroy to give up to get two 50-point players who honestly have more of an offensive chance in Calgary than under the John Tortorella system in Philadelphia.
Yeah, John, again, all points that are fantastically made right there. And, I haven't watched some of the interviews with Craig Conroy, who was discussing the reasoning behind the trade, the timing, etc. I think he indicated initially that I think it sounds like it was a one-for-one setup before things expanded a bit. My understanding, or maybe just my belief, is that it was a Kuzmenko for Farabee type of situation. And then I think there was an offer on the table. And Conroy said it was in part because he and I apologize, I forget the name of the GM in Philly, but they're both relatively new general managers, and they're in touch a little more than some of the other GMs who are more established and have deeper connections with each other. But I think that Frost became a part of it, and the Flames were looking for some more. Name an NHL team that's not looking for additional depth down the middle. And of course, everyone wants that elusive right shot. And Conroy laughed in admitting that, hey, Frosty's not a right shot, but still a very solid natural center. He is centering the third line tonight. I think that became a piece that was interesting there. But of course, you got to then throw Peltz in the mix.
Yeah.
And again, I point out listen, I'm a fan of him. He was so wonderful to watch. Showed his emotions, was willing to have fun with Ryan Leslie, one of the Sportsnet reporters who used to work for the Flames franchise. Kissed him on the forehead after a post-game interview once. Just a fun and funny guy. That's I think every Flames fan is disappointed to see leave, but I do think this helps both teams. I think the Flyers are looking for Kuzmenko to continue to round back into form. Kuzmenko had a few good games leading up to this trade, which I think probably helped the trade be completed. Hey, Kuzi's showing some of that old skill, and I think you're going to get it if you nurture that with the Flyers. And Peltier has tons of potential, and let's give him a new start. Listen, John, you're coming back flat out, 2 first-round picks coming back to the Flames here in Farabee and Frost. So
right.
I think it's a pretty nice win for the Flames, and as I'm have a little bit of that nervousness about what we talked about earlier. Jonathan Huberdeau in particular. Guys like Matty Coronado, some of the younger players who came up with Peltier, especially losing that teammate, losing that friend. But hopefully they're able to round things out and have some early success with their new teammates.
Yeah, and I agree with you because you're talking about Conroy and Danny Briere making some moves, and I do think you bring in Kuzmenko to nurture your Russian rookie who you drafted 4th overall a couple of seasons ago to try to get him back on track.
Yeah, you know what? Now I feel deeply embarrassed because you have 2 former NHL players in Craig Conroy and Danny Briere. Of course, I forget that the GM is Danny Briere in that moment. So that's I got to sit in timeout for that one. That's 2 guys from pretty much the same era as well. So they're making deals together. They used to meet each other on the ice. Now they're who knows? They're FaceTime to make things happen.
I'm going to say this in complete totality with you as we'll get set up for the second. I'm glad we got that all done, so I tried to pace it as much as I could, and I appreciate you giving me all the correct answers in a time frame. It feels like we're working in a newsroom. But for Peltier, that is the big loss for me too, because I loved the moxie, the energy, the rambunctiousness, the love that he played with his teammates. He was just starting to get it going, and maybe that was one of the times and reasons why Conroy made the move. But you get a chance to take the second, my friend.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Now as I peek back to the old television screen here, I'm seeing what you saw earlier. Smith versus Talbot in that Battle of Alberta right at center ice. And, again, not to repeat the same point that we've covered here, but Smith got the better of Talbot in that one. But, hey, I love a little scrap between 2 goaltenders. That was a famous moment in Alberta hockey. And here we go, John. Just like that, we're back to business. Second period has begun. We've got a fresh sheet of ice now, just about 10 seconds into the second period. Are you okay with me taking the play-by-play here?
Absolutely. Take it away. I'll back you up.
All right, sir. So 8 NHL teams for Talbot. That has to be mentioned, but he's been doing it beautifully for those Detroit Red Wings, which I think John is very happy about. We'll see how Wolf settles in here, the young goaltender, technically rookie this year, even though he had a few games under his belt a season ago. And this needs to be mentioned. We talk about the Flames' struggles with scoring. It's the 25th time that they have been held scoreless in the first period. So not a great stat right there. However, takes me back to and their game against Anaheim recently, where they were down 1-0 after one. Came back to win that one 4-1. Obviously, the Red Wings are not the Ducks, but at least we got some evidence there to show that the Flames can get a little push in the second and third. There's a snapshot from the right side of Talbot that goes a little bit wide, bounces off a skate, and here come the Red Wings the other way into the O-zone. That one paddled aside by Dustin Wolf, wearing 32 in the blue paint. Now a quick shot back toward Wolf, and that one was actually tracking back, past his left skate, able to be picked up by the Flames there. And with just about a minute and a half gone here in the second, Flames will take it on the other side, now moving left to right on your radio dials / your screens. They're down 13 shots are the Calgary Flames and 9 for the Red Wings, who lead 2-0. Some good ozone time right here for the Flames as they have possession. Here comes Joel Hanley. He's looking for a partner to pass to. He'll snap one in to the corner from the blue line. And now a pass across, looking for that one-time attempt down low. And there is a turnover. It's going to be a 2-on-1 the other way, John. Here we go. And the Red Wings setting this thing up. There's a quick shot right there, saved by Wolf, and that puck bounces way out to the half-boards on the far side. Picked up by the Flames right there, and they will get possession in the O-zone. Now, a shot a little bit wide right there by Pahal. Flames have it in the far corner to Talbot's right. Now going to pick this one up, and there's a shot that goes wide of the left pad past the post. And the Flames now trying to get some possession. Going to get some from Rasmus Anderson, who sends it across now down the blue line. There's another shot that slides past the skates of Talbot. Flames looking good right there, but I don't actually think they got an official shot right on. So 17:30 to go here in the second. Cooper Hopkins on play-by-play alongside John Ott, who's got the color in the second period, coming to you from the Saddle Dome, so to speak, from Michigan and California. That's the Saddle Dome, right? That putt slides all the way down into the Flames end, taken right there by the Flames. That's Bean, who flips it out to Sharon Govich. And make that Frost, 16, not 17. And the Flames are going to chase this one down. Can't miss Klapka, big number 43. He tries to keep possession, does so. Now this goes back to Uyghur. Uyghur looks to snap it toward the goal, but it bounces off some shin pads. And the puck is loose, now picked up by the Red Wings and fluttered into the neutral zone. You can't miss Lomberg when he's out there with that lettuce. He was getting physical with one of the Red Wings in the offensive zone. 14 shots for the Flames, 10 for Detroit. Bouncing puck right there is going to be picked up with some speed. Now the Red Wings looking to take things toward Wolf, but a great poke check right there. Didn't actually get a number on that Flame, but a good defensive maneuver right there that avoids some danger for Calgary. Good stop right there by Sharon Govich. Little 45-degree pass right there. Past the Flaming Sea at center ice. There's Michael Backlund, not a name that we've mentioned more than I think once by John in the first period, but the captain for the Flames right there does a good job of getting the puck down low. Now it does bounce out toward the center red line, and it's sent back around by Calgary. 4 minutes gone here in the second. As we take a deep breath and we look at this puck be sent down all the way past the red line at the far end. Wolf races that glove, and we will have an icing.
And Jonathan Huberdeau, there was a shot block there for the Red Wings. DeBrincat cut him off the inside step. Couple chances just go wide. And then a 2-on-1 opportunity the other way with Rasmussen and Tarasenko, and Wolf able to stop Michael Rasmussen right off the rush.
Right, you are. We get a little slow-mo replay right there of Klapka doing what he does so well. I mean, that big 6'8" frame is designed to throw a check, and that he did behind Cam Talbot. Now, a bouncing puck in front. Thought that Clark Bishop might have a chance at it right there, but it bounced over his stick blade. So the Flames missed a bit of an opportunity right there. But again, the pressure has been back on, I would say. Can't wait to hear what John thinks about this first 5 minutes or so from the team in red. And I do mean red, yellow, and white, not the white and red. John, come on, it's not always about the Red Wings. give us Flames fans. Just kidding, my friend. So we got a nice little chase down for the puck right here to Wolf's right. This one in the near corner on the Flames end of the ice. And it will be collected right there and sent back around by the Wings. Now bouncing out in front. Flames look to pick this thing up, but they can't. Now a turnaround shot right there. Make that a pass that bounces over to DeBrincat's stick. Still held in here by Seider. There's a windup for the 1T. Wolf can't find it. There's a rebound that is swept out to the near boards. The Flames are going to try to get this thing out of here. Probably the best shift of the second period so far for the Flames, who are now changing. And the puck will be sent around back into the trapezoid. Cam Talbot comes out of his crease and corrals it. Now the Red Wings will set things up and try to break it out, as you see a nice forecheck position there by Igor Sharangovich. Flames and Red Wings take a deep breath right here as the Red Wings hold possession. They're going to try to get out of their own zone. The Sherratt, the former Ottawa Senator, sends this thing forward. Now it bounces along near the players' benches. Flames are going to take over. There's a cross-ice pass that's picked up by a streaking Sharangovich. He goes through the legs to himself. Nice job right there. Sends it right back to Pahal. There's a big one team from the other side. That puck bounces through, maybe even over the crossbar. It's out in front. Sharangovich trying to snap this one in from about 6 feet out. He goes wide again. So that's been a little bit of an issue for the Flames here in the second, sending things wide past the post, but they are close to it. Got to get at least one to get this lead that is now 2 for the Red Wings, down by 50%. 6 minutes have elapsed here. Again, Cooper Hopkins alongside John Ott. Thanks everybody for joining us for this tilt between the home Flames and the visiting Wings. Another hand in the air from the Stripes, and that indicates a second icing in a couple of minutes or so here, John. So the Wings had to alleviate that pressure.
So Marty Pospisil right out there in front with Frost and Sharangovich right at the net. Sharangovich somehow Talbot finds it in amongst the screen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just a sea of bodies right there. And Sharangovich looking to pick that top corner over Talbot's right shoulder. He sent it about 8 inches wide there. But nice shift there from the Flames' Russian skill man. And there is a nice D-zone face-off win for the Wings. This one flutters up near the scoreboard, drops down in the Flame zone. Good job keeping it at the half boards right there by DeBrincat. No, excuse me. Yes, I believe that's DeBrincat who sends it back around. But now the Flames will pick up possession. And there's a nice angled pass to Rasmus Andersson, who flutters the puck down into the O zone. And Talbot finds it from the legal playing area inside that trapezoid, and he sends it across, and we will play on here as the Flames now pick it up again in their zone, looking for that long pass. That's been a strategy of theirs tonight. We saw that a couple times in the first period, looking for that real stretch pass coming out of their own end. Now some nice forecheck pressure. Here comes Michael Backlund again. We're in that Captain C for Calgary. Another great pass to the neutral zone right there. And it's going to be chased down and picked up by that's going to be that's going to be Edmonton. Excuse me. My God, John, I'm all over myself right now. Looking for a name. I got to get John Ott back on play-by-play. I'm showing the rust right now. Saints pick up the puck. I'm just going to move on from that one. There's a nice slapper right there that bounces off the skates. And this second period really flying by, which is probably good for everybody listening. My goodness, it's like I've never done this before. Rasmus Andersson almost hit 94 miles per hour on that last slapper. And I will be blessed with another icing here. I'm going to collect myself. Play will be whistled down.
No, you're all good, my friend. I'm just glad to hear your voice and get you back on this cast. A lot of slap shots, a lot of stuff from deep in those breakout passes, as you said. They're trying to get Coronado out in space. I think the Red Wings have done a good job just trying to stay in front of the man who's coming off a natural hat.
Yeah, I'd love to see him continue to get that scoring touch hotter and hotter. I mean, you can't get much hotter than a natural hat trick, but got to have somebody score one here for the Flames at some point. Now we have a fluttering puck that hits an unaware backlink right between the ones on his jersey, and then I think we have an offside call. Looks like we're headed for a break here, John. It's still 2-0 Wings, 12:32 to go here in the second period.
Well, I don't think it comes as any surprise right now for the Calgary Flames against Detroit that they're trying to get as much pressure and screens on in front of Talbot as much as they can. I think Cam Talbot's looked really good. It's coming into it for Detroit. They've won 8 of the last 9 with him in the crease. And if I scroll back up into my notes here really quickly, and alongside for Todd McLellan, if the Wings get the win today, since the coaching change, they'll be 13-4-1.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to just keep it right on your mic. How do you feel about that? I think there's only one way you can feel. You must be pretty excited about how things are developing.
It's kind of crazy because we talk about it a little bit, Cooper, in the sense of Derek Wallon. I don't want to throw him in the bus too much, but they said 45-minute practices. I think it takes about 35 minutes to stretch. So I wonder what these guys were doing, because this is the same team. There hasn't been any moves made. Yeah, there's been some adjustments in the lineup, but it's the same team playing, and they look completely different.
They do, and listen, as a fan, every other day of the week, month, and year, I'm really happy to see things take the turn that they have for the Wings, and I just hope we get a couple of moments, maybe a couple of lapses from Cam Talbot. Maybe the Flames are getting goal leads tonight. You mentioned that Talbot has looked good, and he's going up against his former team. You got to think that there's some extra motivation there, including for the players in front of him. You always want to play hard for your goaltender in special situations. And, yeah, Talbot has looked really solid. And the Flames have had some nice looks and just can't get one by him.
I don't want to jump on you too much because I want you to take the play-by-play, but Alex Lyon on Thursday, I know he gave up a couple of goals in the first, but he's coming off of a season-high 48 saves against the Edmonton Oilers, so they knew how it felt to lose.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we take a quick look on the Sportsnet side of the Western Conference. Yeah, the Flames just about 5 points below the Avalanche in that wild card and just 3 points behind the Kings for that third spot. As you mentioned, John, we're going to get puck dropped here as we come back from our timeout. Flames win that face-off, and now Pospisil, he collides with one of the Red Wings and make that Edmonton. And the Flames, who are 16-7-3 at home this year, 9-11-4 on the road, trying to make it 17-7 for themselves tonight. Again, scoring is at a premium here. They are being held off that score sheet. Just 15 shots officially for the Flames, but they're going to be 15 icings for the Red Wings.
Yes.
If they keep going this way, it's another stoppage, my friend.
Yeah, there's been a lot of it. I guess they're really going to test Dylan Larkin. No, the other day, I think he had about 35 face-off attempts. He's not on the ice right now for it, but that's their best guy. Kop's going to have to try to do it. Then Cooper cut himself off there for a moment with a little bit of the mic. I don't know if you're having some mic issues, but I can take over for if you need.
Oh, apologies, John. Yeah, no, we're back to it right here. Thank you so much for keeping an eye on that. You know me, I'm good for at least one technical difficulty, at least one missing the mute button every broadcast. So we are here with 11:35 to go in the second. That was a nice, clean face-off win in the O-zone previously with a shot attempt by Jonathan Huberdeau that he didn't get all of. Puck ended up going back down to Calgary's end, and you now find it by the penalty boxes in possession of the Flames here. Now 12 shots for the Wings, and those 2 goals, 15 shots for Calgary remains here. Nice check right there by the Red Wings. That was a good one thrown by Sherratt. He can really do it all for Detroit, and I know they love him for it. There's a puck bouncing near the Red Wings player bench. This one bounces to the left of Wolf. He calmly watches as the Flames clear it out from behind the net and now take it past the Flaming Sea and all the way to the Red Wings end. This one, though, tipped away by a nice poke check. There's a stretch pass. The Red Wings are streaking through, and there's a shot saved by Wolf. He looks behind him, but he's got that puck trapped between the right arm and the right pad. That was a nice play right there with speed. Could have been 3-0 easily for Detroit.
I will say this. I think you have to root for somebody like Dominic Shine, 32 years of age, spent 9 years with the Griffins. Again, as you said, just getting a call up. If he ends up getting a goal, those guys are going to go crazy on the bench.
Yeah, no question about it. Flames have had a couple stories like that. Nothing that major, though, to come through the minors after that much time. You got guys like Clark Bishop, even the Justin Kirkland story that we mentioned earlier. Of course, he is on that IR, but you got to love it when you grind, and then make your way to the big time. Yeah, that would have been a huge moment for the Wings. And we'll see the way they're playing. They might turn this thing around at any moment and make it 3-0 as we near the halfway points of this regulation. Now, another shot right there from the near boards. That one is blocked away by Wolf, trying to chase it down there for the Flames. That is Clark Bishop himself. Just mentioned him, rocking that 61. Don't always see those numbers on the back of a sweater, but now the Flames carry in. There's a little snapshot right there that deflects off of a stick blade and up into the netting. We'll have a face-off.
So they're profiling on the Detroit side, but Dustin Wolf, 7-3 in January, 232 goals against and a 922 save percentage. You led all rookies in wins.
Yes, he did. Love that you're throwing those stats out there. And he has looked solid here. He's made a couple of really big saves. This league could be bigger for the Wings. It's such a strange game in a way where the Flames have had really good stretches but just don't have anything to show for it. And the Wings have been very opportunistic. That's why they lead how they do right now. And the O-zone win, it's a beautiful one by the Calgary Flames. Rasmus Andersson sends one over at Sharon Govich, who snaps one off. And there is a shot that rings off the bar.
Yep.
Another one off the crossbar, John. It could have been 2-1, a couple inches lower, and we're looking at that puck hitting the net. Flames have got to be pulling their hair out right now, thinking about what do we got to do here to get one past Talbot. He's stopping him, and so is the iron cage around him. Now the Flames looking for a nice pass attempt right there, but no pass comes as the shot probably could have been taken right there by Coleman, but he was looking for a little support. Now less than 10 to go. Cooper Hopkins alongside John Ott. Shots now almost even. Again, the Flames going into the dressing room after one with 12 shots. They have just 3 shots officially. And there's a turnaround snapshot right there. Try to go 5-hole. And Talbot makes 2 saves back-to-back. Frost looks to the heavens. What's it going to take, John, for the Flames to score here? Talbot says no, and then he says no again.
A little bit lucky on a couple of saves. He got out of position off a bad turnover. Talbot bails his team. But as you said, I think that was Rasmus Anderson that might have rang the pipe. And that reverberated across the Saddle Dome, and you couldn't hit it any harder.
Yeah, no question. I think as we saw against Sportsnet, the second look at it in slow motion, there was a deflection there that set it up and over the shoulder of Talbot. But man, oh man, Flames with a couple of nice shifts strung together right there. But again, they're still sitting with that goose egg.
I think the only thing, and I know this isn't the most enlightening take, but if you're Ryan Huska and you're the players, you got to keep motivating yourself on the bench. There really isn't a darn thing you need to change. You just got to find a way to get one behind Talbot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we're starting to see that strategy. And boy, we talked about this, John, even back to the Daryl Sutter days of several years ago, where, hey, if things aren't going your way and you're getting goalied a little bit and just having some struggles putting, clean shots behind a netminder, make it dirty, make it greasy. I know it's a classic thing to say when covering a hockey game, but there's a reason that it's become a cliche. Sometimes you have to tap into that mentality. I think we're starting to see the Flames just fire on from almost anywhere.
Yeah, we're starting to see that, and we saw a lot of traffic in the first period. We saw a little bit of that in the second, but Cooper's right. I think he's making the transition of trying to get as many shots as you can. Right now, Talbot's got a good sweat on, but I think the only thing you can do is continue to test him, and it seems like the Wings are, I'm not going to say biding their time in this period, but their goaltender is certainly keeping them in it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the Cam Talbot show a little bit. And I think we were expecting the Wolf show here, and it's been flipped on its head, just like the Wings did in the first period. So, can the Wings extend the lead? I think they would like to. Obviously, playing on the road here, it's a Calgary team with a couple of new players that, of course, would love to get those guys some points in Farabee and Frost. And Coleman had that turnaround shot. Now I'm seeing the replay here. Frost then picks up that rebound. Now we're going to get back to live action as the Flames win another O-zone draw. Now streaking toward that net is Paul Hall, make that beam, who came in from the blue liner position. And the Flames again keep this in. Now down low, the puck bounces through Talbot. I don't know where it is, and I don't think Talbot does either. They're going to get some checking around the crease area. My goodness, John, that slow-moving puck almost made its way in. How crazy would it be if that was the way the Flames score first?
Yeah, it's a lot of battles. They're showing on the Detroit side the Saddle Dome from 83 to 84 when it opened. They're saying Scotia Place might open 27-28 as we're getting some art shots on the other side. I'm excited.
Yeah, lots going on in Calgary. I think it's, as much as I love the Saddle Dome and the history, of course, the Olympic history as well, those 88 games in Calgary. But you know what? It was time. One of the older barns in the league is the Saddle Dome, and I've been there just once in 2004. That was my first NHL game ever. Can you believe it? It was a Stanley Cup Finals game. So what a way to start my career seeing live NHL hockey. Worth noting here, as we get a quick stoppage in play, that the Flames have won 7 draws in this period to just 2 for the Wings. And boy, especially in the offensive zone, you think that might translate to a goal. It hasn't yet. The Flames, they're trying. They're certainly trying their best, John.
They're showing all the banners, Lenny McDonald, Jerome McGinley, Mike Vernon, Mika Kiprusoff. Man, oh man, that's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Gotta love that Mika Kiprusoff's number was retired. That's classic number 34, the Finnish goaltender who's a legend in Calgary and was really the primary architect, along with Jerome McGinley, of that 04 Cup run. Just legendary stuff of 20-plus years ago. Now the Flames have possession again in the O-zone. Boy, we're saying that a lot. And we are seeing some more hitting, John. This is what we talked about in the first period. You see Bean step in there for the Flames, make that a nice little hit right there, trying to get possession, but the puck will slide all the way back toward Dustin Wolf. Flames pick it up here. Now Barry has it. He will skate this thing forward. That right shot defenseman wearing 8 on his jersey sends it around. No icing here. They were just inside the red line for Calgary Flames. 8:13 on the clock here in the second. 2-0 Detroit. 18 shots for your home squad, 14 for Detroit. There's a pass centering in between those circles looking for Sharon Govich, and that puck, skates right between the legs. So that one an opportunity that goes begging. Nice job right there to slap that puck down by Hanley, make it Pahal, and now we will have play whistled down. So, John, Flames just can't seem to get that last piece in place. They're almost done with the puzzle.
Yes.
They cannot find that last. It's under the couch somewhere. They got to find it.
You said that absolutely perfectly, Cooper. I was thinking the same darn thing and across from this. So everyone's better be careful here because I know what the shot board and the scoreboard says, but they've come oh so close. If you let them ignite that pilot light, we might get a completely different game here.
Yeah, I think it's that scenario, John. We've seen it before. Just get that one, and the belief starts to change. And right now we're going to see a little wave out. That's Larkin leaving the circle with a draw to the right of Dustin Wolf. It's won nicely by Detroit, and it is tapped back over to Gustafsson. Now the puck will rattle around to the far boards at that halfway mark between the end boards and the blue line. Now picked up by Detroit at the point on the far side. It actually made it all the way to Wolf, who had to turn that thing away. And now a backhand pass right there, taken down nicely by Coleman. What deft hands right there as he fights off not one but three Red Wings. Boy, the Flames almost keep it in while being outnumbered right there. Good job by Calgary to really battle and try to maintain possession. They know they got to hold that puck. They've got to control play here, being down 2 now with just 7:15 to go in the second period. The puck will rattle around behind Talbot to his right. Nice stretch pass right there by the Wings. Boy, barely onside. But that puck is taken and then sent along by Kopp. Now in the far corner, Dustin Wolf looks on, as the rest of us do as well. And the Red Wings pick it up, looking for that centering pass. It's bouncing in the crease, but picked up there by Calgary. Speeded out by Mackenzie Weegar, the former Florida Panther. And now the Flames looking to pull up quick there on that far side, tap it back to the blue line, and get something high to low. There's a puck that bounces to the right of Cam Talbot. He was swiveling that head back and forth, and the Red Wings are able to pick it up momentarily, but the Flames will take over once again. 6:30 on the clock now. 2-0 Detroit, as Weegar's going to take a quick snapshot right there, bouncing puck. Again, things deflecting down low just at the top of the crease, but the Flames can't come away with the rebound. We're going to have a whistle here, and John, are we finally, with 6:25 to go in the second, getting our first penalty tonight?
I'm looking at the same side. Bob Kaiser, the Griffins guy, he was doing the call. I said the puck might have hit the netting. I'm still looking myself to see if we are finally getting a penalty call. I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, this is why I need you. I need the 4 eyes because I only have the 2. John's the expert as ever. Nice job by Talbot. We're seeing the replay here, paddling away a bouncing puck out in front. And, I think the call here, what I saw was potentially a hooking hand gesture by the referee was just indicating that the puck had hit the netting. So we'll stay at 5-on-5. Calgary now has bumped their shot total to 19. John, the question remains, what's it going to take here? Flames have looked very, very good. They actually lose an offensive zone draw. That has been uncommon in this second period. But the puck is cleared all the way down. Wolf raises his big leather glove, and he is right. It's icing yet again. Detroit will have to fend off another offensive draw for the Flames.
I was going to say, Cooper, I feel like I failed you because most of the time in my head I can keep the count of how many icings it's been. But honestly, I think Detroit's already done this 10 times.
I think you're right. We're close to double digits if we're not there already. I think it's 6 or 7. And now another O-zone draw. I love to see this as a Flames fan. A bouncing puck again. We're sensing themes here. The themes, the narratives, John, are starting to establish themselves as the puck rattles around near the near corner and back out to the neutral zone. And entry attempt right there, bounces off behind of one of the Detroit Red Wings. They'll try to backhand this thing along on the far board. The Flames are going to pick it up, trying to skate it down through the far circle. Now a loose puck is picked up by the Wings and cross ice. It makes it all the way to its target. There is a beautiful centering pass right there. Nice back check by Barry, who is in this lineup tonight and just made a great play right there. Boy, something that's not going to pop out on the score sheet, but he broke up a centering pass right there that would have been a clear, high-danger chance for Detroit. Inside 5:30 to go here in the second. Cooper Hopkins currently on your play-by-play. You're going to hear some John Ock again very shortly when we get to the third and after that intermission. But for right now, you see that fourth line out there for Calgary with Ryan Lomberg wearing 7-0. Again, can't miss him. Love to see him. Love that jump that he's got. He's flying right now. Flames are onside trying to carry in. Klapka, another man you can't miss We are going to get, I think, a little bit of puck contact along the benches. So a face-off will be coming up shortly.
Yeah, we're going to take a break before the final 5 of the second. Cooper, you've done a fantastic job. Again, it's good to link back up with you here on this. I am humbly surprised. I would have bet that there was going to be at least 2 or 3 penalties both ways already, but we still don't have one.
Yeah, boy, John, how many times? I know it's been at least a handful of times that we have either spoken something into existence or on the absolute opposite end of the spectrum. We've said something, well, this must happen tonight, right? We can safely assume X, Y, and Z, and then, of course, X, Y, and Z don't ever come close to happening. Could we have a penalty-free game tonight? That actually would be kind of wild.
I have to imagine, Cooper, if that does happen, I know I heard about that 2-3 years ago. They might have finally had it, but I mean, it's exceedingly rare.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we still have plenty of game to go here. If this is just a regulation win for one or the other of the teams, we're looking at 25 minutes and 5 seconds still to play, where you have to assume, I mean, even if it's just an errant stick, maybe an unintentional trip, maybe a little interference in the neutral zone, I mean, go down the list. But right now, everything has been squeaky clean.
Well, right now, as we talk about some of the stats, again, I'll bring those up here. Shots on goal, 20-15, 21-10 hits. Faceoffs, 19-17, all in favor of the Flames. The Red Wings, they're up to nothing but ghastly on the giveaways. 13 for Detroit that Calgary has forced.
Yeah, basically twice as many. Almost 3 times as many. I'm looking at blocked shots as well. The Wings have had to block some shots because the Flames have been shooting. It's 13 block shots to the 7 of Calgary, and the hitting, if we're tracking that tonight, the Flames have doubled up with the Red Wings on that physical side. 21 hits to just 10 for the Wings, and boy, that face-off percentage too, which was really skewed toward the Wings in the first period, or I should say at the end of it. Now 53% face-off win for the Flames, down to 47 for your visiting Wings. And speaking of which, that face-off we promised has been taken, and it was won momentarily by the Flames, but then a puck just sort of sat there behind the centers and then was, guess what, John? Iced by the Red Wings. We'll have another face-off next to Cam Talbot. He's got to get sick of everybody crowding his area.
Yeah, I guess they get lucky with the commercial break, a little bit of rest. They get to keep Larkin back out there. It's getting ridiculous. He's going to take it against Backlund.
Yeah, gotta love those real-time stats on NHL.com too. Shout out to those developers. We're getting the real-time action. Boy, the Flames now over 54% on the face-off wins. We will have Michael Backlund waved out of this one. Looks like he started. I guess we're just going to redo it here. I thought he was getting shown the door on that face-off, but we're going to get the puck drop again here. Again, it's to Cam Talbot's right. This time, yeah, nice face-off win by Michael Backlund. Sharon Govich stepped in, dropped it back to his blue liners, and now it's going to go back to Rasmus Andersson, make that Hanley. Boy, the puck keeps bouncing right past Cam Talbot. He's had to stay settled. He does a good job right there, paddling, bouncing puck aside. Flames trying to keep it in, but it will be shoveled along and out of the Red Wings' end. Now picked up by those Wings, and they enter the Flame zone. There's an opportunity right there. Boy, almost toe-dragging Rasmus Andersson. Right there was Raymond, and the Flames desperately trying to get out of their own end. They do so. Going to skate this one away, looking for a little back pass. Rasmus Andersson steps up, takes a shot right there, easily stopped by Cam Talbot, catches it right in the breadbasket. Rasmus Andersson's been winding up a few of those slap shots tonight, but Talbot has had the better of those exchanges.
The shot attempts, and again, this comes as no surprise from what Cooper and I have been able to placate to you. 28-11 Flames in this period alone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And boy, I'm looking at some ice time as well. Not surprised to see Larkin getting ice time for the forwards of the Wings, but also you got Lucas Raymond up there doing a lot of work along with Casper as well. So 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the second. 2 goals for the Wings as they pick up the puck just to the right. Dustin Wolf, this one flutters by him and out all the way to that center logo and on the center Saddle Dome ice. And now one of the Flames is upended. I thought that might be a tripping call, but it looked to be incidental. Now there's a shot right there that Wolf can't handle, but he does block her inside. Good job by the Flames there to get possession yet again and get things out of there. That's Bean looking for the stretch pass. Can't be settled easily by Kadri. He looks for a little drop pass right there as he goes down to a knee in the far corner. But again, the Flames not really able to get a clean run of possession here in the offensive zone, although they've had a million faceoffs to the million icings of the Red Wings this year. It's been an odd one, John. We're going to have to break this thing down a little more when we have some perspective during the next intermission. But 10 shots in the period for the Flames, 8 for the Red Wings, and still nothing to show for it for the Flames. Now they're going to circle around. There's a shot attempt by Frost, the centerman on the third line, looking for his first point as a Calgary Flame. There's a deflected puck right there by Sharon Govich. And again, I'm going to say this for the unknown amount of times, that is fluttering to Talbot's right and then all the way back down toward the Flames defensive end. Now a turnover, and there's a shot right there I think may have gone off the bar. Another one, I think, beat Wolf John and made it, almost made it into the net. Boy, that's a close one. I'll have to see a replay.
Jonathan Berggren ends up forcing the steal there, and Elmer Soderblom rang the left of the pipe.
Yeah, when you see those referees make that incomplete gesture like you'd see in the NFL, yeah, that one beat Wolf to the blocker's side, that stick side, and Wolf tapping the post right there. He knows it could have very easily been 3-0. So inside, speaking of 3, less than 3 minutes to go here in the second. Wolf thanks his posts, and the Flames want to try to get one here before the second period expires. They're now up to 23 shots and 16 for Detroit. Detroit still with that 2-goal advantage. Flames now are going to carry out of their own end. It's the big man, 6'8", Adam Klapka, who tries to saucer one over to Lomberg. Lomberg does get the pass. It connected. Lomberg got a shot off and a nice Cam Talbot save. How many times have we said that, John? He turns things aside, and then, boy, back in the neutral zone, Klapka goes down again. So a couple shifts in a row here where Flames have hit the ice. But, yeah, Talbot with that right pad making things look calm and casual in his crease. There's some alliteration for you on a Saturday night. 2 minutes to go here in the second period. It's going to be John Ott taking that play-by-play in the third, but we got a little time left in this middle stanza as the Red Wings try to carry things out from the far corner to the right of Talbot. Now a little battle for the puck going on right there. It's frozen in Gustafson's skate. Backlund with a little shove to the backside of number 56 in white. That thing's going to be shoved free, and now it's held by the Flames in the at the far corner. And 1:35 to go here with the Flames looking to create something before we get those zeros on the clock. Now, a shot from the blue line, and it goes right to Talbot. He sees it through the traffic. Another stop, another save. The clean sheet is intact.
Yeah, you think about that sometimes, Cooper. You can use it as reverse jinx, and I don't blame you. But Talbot's been good. Again, you think about that late goal that the Red Wings scored in the first. The Flames trying to do that exact same inverse here and get themselves within one.
Yeah, listen, John, Talbot's just been in the right spot really in every instance here. I mean, that's it goes to show when you got nothing behind you. It's 0 for Calgary right now. They're playing at home. They've been good at home. But Talbot and the Wings have just simply been better tonight when they've had to be. Opportunistic, as we said in the first, and they've been stalwarts here in the second. Looking to break out here. This is Tarasenko wearing those ones on the back of his sweater, and we, I think, have an offside here. So the whistle goes, 1:15 in the second. And, John, again, this is going to be the question of the intermission. What will it take here as Wolf skates around waiting for this face-off?
And I'm interested, too, because tomorrow is a back-to-back for the Wings against the Vancouver Canucks, who have already made a lot of changes. The Flames made a lot of changes. The Canucks made a lot of changes. Maybe they can catch both of those teams off guard.
Yeah, it seems to be the way it's looking right now, at least here in Alberta. And there's a puck drop right there, caught with a nice win. And the Wings will try to get this one out of the neutral zone and into the O zone. They will send one along that Wolf can't handle, couldn't get the big paddle on it. And the Flames will backhand this one with now a minute to go in the second. There's a nice drop pass right there, 2-on-2 the other way. Here comes Huberdeau. Have not mentioned him much tonight other than just in passing. There's a shot that, again, John, the theme continues. A deflected shot goes to the right of Talbot, just past the post. Flames can't really get one on frame, as you'd say in the soccer world, but now 42 seconds here with Rasmus Andersson in possession. He's going to try to orchestrate something. There's a cross-ice pass. Now up and across the blue line go the Flames. Turning back right there is Calgary. They're going to send it down low on the far side. Flames going down once again right there. That was Pospisil trying to gain possession. Couldn't do so. Good defense right there by Detroit. Just trying to be sound, simple, taking care of business here. Hanging on to the puck as those precious seconds tick away here in the second. Nice forecheck by Pospisil, trying to take some of the ice away. The Red Wings will creep up and send this one in. Little dump and chase action with 10 to go. Puck rattles around to Frost. He's going to try to send this one along. Time is short here, 4 seconds. Now over to Sharon Go. Each time he's going to run out, John. 0 goals for your Calgary Flames in 2 periods. And 0 goals for the Wings in this one, this period, I should say. But hey, they got 2 in the first, and they still lead 2-0.
Yeah, again, we talked about it. A lot of the traffic out in front, maybe just missed here and there. I do think, to your point, that the Flames continue to get puck possession, as it certainly seems like they're going to be able to in this game. I don't think they played poorly in at all. They just need to take an extra half a beat, make sure that they can get a clean shot on that before that screen gets set, because Talbot's just been able to just get enough of a lot of these chances here. Yes, he has been a busy man, but Talbot's been on his game.
Yeah, he really has, John. And, now that we're 2/3 through regulation here, we start to see the narratives really come into frame and become more crisp. And it's just going to be Talbot leading the way if this ends up a win, really, of any variety for the Red Wings, unless things go crazy in the third and become something that we don't expect, and this thing ends up, 5-4 from one of the other teams, 6-5, some explosion of scoring, which I don't expect. It's got to be Cam Talbot leading the way, and he's looked good against his former squad.
Yeah, that's what it's going to have to be, because I think you said it best. And between both of these teams, neither of us expect that type of explosion. I still think that this game's going to stay tight. Certainly feels like a 3-1 or something like that. Again, I'll give you a little bit of a shot reset and everything else, and I'll jump right quickly in because we got a lot to do in the second. But 25-16, 22-10, 21 apiece on faceoffs, hits and shots respectively. Still no penalties. 15 block shots to 8 for Detroit, 5 takeaways to 1 for Detroit there, but 13 giveaways. Calgary's been able to get Detroit to cough up the puck, try to get screens out in front. They just have not been able to get anything in front of Talbot. And then just to give you the reset, Dylan Larkin with his 23rd from Fisher and Dominic Shine. He just picked up his first assist in the NHL. And Simon Evans in his 5th from Berggren and Soderblom, as that line is pretty new. Dustin Wolf, 14 of 16. Cam Talbot, all 25 so far. So very short for me, and then we're going to get into the big one. So if you didn't hear this, in between the NHL was a joint announcement from Gary Bettman and alongside the league. This is good news. So the salary cap right now is a $65 million floor and a limit at 88. Think about it, about 6.5 per each year. So 70.6 to 95.5 next year. Then it will balloon to 76.9 to 104. And then 3 years from now, 83.9 to 113.5. So the earlier question that Cooper shot me as far as Mikko Rantanen and the Carolina Hurricanes, that extra $7 million or so on the cap might certainly seem that he could stay a Hurricane.
Yeah, you are right, John, and that is such important news that we're getting that picture, kind of projecting out in several years. And boy, fiscally speaking, financially speaking, things going right for the NHL right now, which is really great news as fans of the sport. But yeah, you don't get those kinds of numbers if things are moving in the right direction, just in terms of viewership numbers. You got to think everything that goes into it, from jersey sales, TV revenue, ad revenue. I mean, this is good news for professional hockey, and it could be good news for Rantanen, who's going to ask for a nice little chunk of that.
And I guess Cooper and I are going to say the obvious here. I know we'll agree, but that also means that an NHL lockout's not looming anytime soon.
Yeah, that is a fundamental piece that's really important. There's been far too much of that. If it hasn't happened outright, the threat of it is always, I don't want to say a distraction, because the players absolutely deserve to be fairly compensated. And listen, everyone's making a ton of money, in this game. And I'm just glad that it doesn't have to be part of the conversation, because we know everyone's getting taken care of. Again, listen, I'm just going back to the well with the jokes here, but Rantanen's going to find a way to get taken care of too by some team. He will get what he wants, and his services will be plied potentially with the Canes or maybe somewhere else. But that will be one of the stories of that offseason, no matter what happens with Carolina.
Yes, it will. And again, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big one that I wanted to allude to in the second. We needed time to do this. Make sure that you're sitting down for this one. So former general manager of the Vancouver Canucks, Jim Rutherford, again, it's Patrick Alvin now. He was interviewed by the Globe and Mail. And I got to give you these comments on JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. We'll talk about more in the trade in a moment. But here are his comments directly to a reporter. I'm going to give you all these, and then I'll give Cooper's reaction. So the rift between Miller and Pettersson. And Rutherford says it only gets resolved for a short period of time, and then it festers up again. And so it certainly appears that there's not a good solution that would keep this core together. As you know, emotions get deep, and as much as people try sometimes, you just can't get over it. When you don't have team chemistry, it's hard to be that consistent team because there's too much going on in the room for everybody to concentrate on what they're supposed to do. Again, keep in mind, this is also during trade negotiations that all this stuff is being said, but I got more. Rutherford is uncertain if trading either player will fix the problem, and he admits that the Canucks won't get an even trade in return. But the biggest bombshell of all, Rutherford says if the Canucks decided to head to a complete rebuild, and that means trading Miller, Pettersson, Besser, Garland, because again, Miller and Besser are best friends. Keep that in mind. Quinn Hughes says he wants no part of a total rebuild and will ask out. And keep in mind, Quinn Hughes is a 100-point D-man falling on a bed. And you could even see that Hughes trio become a reality in New Jersey. Cooper, what are your thoughts?
Oh, there are a lot of ways we could take this, John. I think at a core level, there is something deeper than what we have even learned, even through these comments. I think it's very, very telling that there's no guarantee, according to Rutherford, right? We have to take him at his word. There's no guarantee that this trade, which has taken place, that sends Miller across the continent back to his former and original team, is going to just magically resolve the issues that are in the locker room. And you have to think, John, I'm just going to start right here. You have to think there might be some resentment from players, potentially even toward Pettersson. There might be some toward Miller, who's now not going to be in their locker room sharing it with them as teammates anymore. But the fact that there was a rift this deep, 50% of the reason for the rift is still sitting right next to you, or across, three stalls down, or across the way. And I think probably quietly, as many hockey players are, not too many are overly demonstrative. It's definitely part of hockey culture to, keep things that happen in the room. A torn ligament in the shoulder is an upper body injury, right? But you know what? That's the physical body. And when we talk about the emotions, as Rutherford alluded to, those matter as well. Just because Miller is gone, I don't think that solves the problem. And I think we have to, I would almost assume, John, and I'll hand it back to you. We can continue on this. I want to hear your thoughts. I think we might have to almost assume that this is just the first of what could be many major moves here. And I do not blame Hughes for making a clear statement. I think he's been impacted. He knows his team has been impacted by this rivalry, this internal rivalry. And he certainly doesn't want to be more dramatic and more difficult. And I think there could be more changes coming for Vancouver.
I agree with you completely. And for Rutherford to make those comments now for GM Patrick Alvin, we'll talk about the Miller trade in a second. That makes it really difficult to do your job because it also drives the value down when you know it's that bad. And for Rutherford, I'll say this. If you knew the rift was that bad in between Pettersson and Miller, why the hell did you sign extensions for those guys? I know that they're great players, 100-point players at their best, but that is certainly difficult to think about. Thatcher Demko right now also has a knee injury that he's going to have to play through this year, and they're saying he might not even ever recover from it in totality. But I do want to end with this before we go into the Miller trade, just to give Cooper's thoughts. I know it's a rival team, but maybe he'll have some thoughts for me because we're kind of around the same age as far as pool and everything for hockey history. But some ugly exits for Vancouver over the years. You remember the Russian Rocket and Pavel Bure. Roberto Luongo flat out said, "My contract sucks," along the time when he had John Tortorella, which allowed him to start Eddie Lack in an outdoor game. Luongo didn't get a chance to play in that one. And then the following year, they had to convince to bring him back because they traded Corey Schneider. And then they traded Luongo. Look, I know that worked out for Horvat and Jacob Markstrom, again, the former Flame who was a member of the Canucks, but that didn't seem all that well. And then you had Mark Messier, Trevor Linden as a player and as an exec when they wouldn't let him do the rebuild. And then we know about the Todd Bertuzzi hit and Steve Moore in the West Coast Express era that only lasted for like a year and a half. It seems like Vancouver's got a lot of these prospects, players that they seem to work out well, but some of that stuff inside and outside the locker room is quite messy.
Yeah, John, I find it interesting. Obviously, I put this twist on it, but it's not really a twist when it's true. The story of the evening has been former Flames goaltenders. We've talked about Mike Smith throwing right hands. We've talked about Cam Talbot receiving those right hands and also throwing out his right blocker, left glove, right pad, left pad, stopping everything the Flames have shot at him tonight. Now we've hey, shout out to Eddie Lack. You gotta love that former Flame goaltender, and then you get Markstrom mentioned as well. But look, joking aside, the Vancouver Canucks, listen, it's not a cursed team by any means, but I think, listen, John, I'm going to say something soured after that 2011 infamous bottoming out in that final game of the Stanley Cup. Look, I'm connecting dots that don't need to be connected here, but if we look back at that, that's almost 15 years ago now. And I think there's been real belief for Canucks fans that, hey, we can get back there. We've had a ton of talent on the team. There's been some turnover, but you are absolutely right, John. They always find a way to just restack, maybe not to the degree that Edmonton has or maybe a Tampa Bay has, but they find a way to consistently bring in real talent, young talent, veteran talent, a great mix of players. And things just seem to go south for one reason or another. And this time, I'm a little concerned, not because I'm a Flames fan. I'm not grinning behind these comments. I'm a little concerned that the Miller trade is not going to be the cure-all that I think some Canucks fans are hoping it to be. I think it could continue to rattle around and create more unrest that has to be dealt with.
I agree with you completely, and then I'll just close with the last couple of trades, and then we'll put this all in a bow. So the New York Rangers get JT Miller back from where he first started. Again, $8 million per until 2030. There's more on that in a second. And then also Eric Brandstrom and a prospect in Jackson Dorrington. Miller's a 30 guaranteed goal scorer. That's what he's been throughout his career. You know what you're getting from him. But the Vancouver Canucks, I think they do pretty well on this one. You might not think so, but let me break it down. Philip Hedl, again, 41 games played, 11, 9, and 20. He's 25, 4.37 per till 2027. Victor Mancini, another young prospect, 15 games, 5 points. But the Canucks also get a projected top 13 pick. And you got to remember, too, as we mentioned for Miller, no salary retention whatsoever. That's $8 million off the cap and a first rounder in Hedl and company. That's pretty good for the Canucks.
Yeah, it is, and I actually agree with your take on it. I think there have been some takes out there that have a little bit more, and this is maybe even being friendly, a little more of a lukewarm response to what the Canucks received in return. I don't think that those opinions give Hedl enough credit. I know you've been aware of what he brings with his game for a long time, John, and I actually think he will fit well with Vancouver. Now, listen, this is not to the degree of a Rantanen, but can you replace everything that Miller brings statistically? No, of course not. And we're talking not even apples and oranges. We're talking like apples and car tires. This is very different what these players need to bring to their franchises. I will say Miller seems to have settled right back in immediately. He had a great night for the Rangers, and I believe he had that was a 2-point night. I think he had at least one goal and assist. Maybe it was even 2 goals. But he is, happy to be as far away from Vancouver as possible. I think Hedl's going to do quite well. We'll see about the other pieces. But, yeah, just to close it out, listen, again, we talked about draft capital before. I mean, I would say other than massive stars like a Rantanen, there's just nothing more valuable. A top 20, 15 pick in that range can make a huge difference for any franchise.
And that is why we work together, my friend. That's a great level-headed answer. That's exactly what I was going with. You can't replace that. Plus, the cap's also going up. That's almost $16.5 million of cap space if you combine that. And then, by the way, we can talk about it too for the Rangers. I know it was Hedl. I know they worked out for Lafreniere with the COVID lottery balls, but now Hedl and Capocacco, they got some problems with Jimmy Vesey. He wants up, but they can't develop young talent, but no problem for Capocacco. He's already got 15 points in 20 games with the Kraken.
Yeah, you know what? There's been some good moves here. I think the Rangers, who've had a season maybe not one that most folks expected. The moves have worked out, and it's been beneficial for really everyone involved. I mean, the Kraken are thrilled to have Kakko. You and I both agree that could be a good fit, and that was immediately confirmed. And I think he will stay with the franchise for a good number of years there. Obviously, we can't predict the future, but I think based on his performance, and he seems to have settled in nicely, that could be a good spot for him longer term. Yeah, John, the Rangers are always fascinating. I mean, it's the Blue Shirts. They're always fascinating. The Canucks, unfortunately, have been fascinating in a bit of a different way with that unrest in the locker room. Again, I am curious to see what happens with Pettersson, and I do mean Elias Pettersson, although there is another Elias Pettersson, and I think a Marcus Pettersson.
I'm going to get to that. Yes.
I saw a joke on X today that, hey, if you have a teammate named Pettersson, just get ready to say goodbye to him because he'll probably be a Vancouver Canuck in the next day or two.
I'm glad you gave me the lead in there, Cooper, because I was going to mention that. So Vancouver Canucks, Marcus Pettersson, and forward Drew O'Connor, and then exchange for a first, Antonine and Vincent Desharnais. I think Kyle Dubas trying to get a little bit extra, but you're right. You got the Elias Pettersson, the D-man, the forward that you already know about, now Marcus Pettersson. The joke I was going to make is there's an Oscar Pettersson in Ottawa, and there's another one in Anaheim, and that's enough of a line, Cooper, to make it 3 forwards and 2 D-men. You could have 5 Petterssons on one line.
Make it, you know what? Come on, NHL.
You got to do it.
Gary Bettman, I don't know. You made your calls about the salary cap. Now you need to call Vancouver. You must demand that they have a line of only Petterssons. It needs to happen. I need it to happen.
So the Vancouver Canucks, again, we talk about all this stuff, but I think this is the most important part, and Cooper knows this more than any as a rival team. They're sitting 23, 18, and 10, 57 points. You have all this trades, all this tumultuism, and all this talent, and yet they're only 1 point out of a playoff spot. There is a lot to go ahead as far as the deadline. So I just wanted to break that all down. We got it all in. I can't believe it. Good work, sir.
Yeah, likewise, my friend. And you know what? Yeah, Mitch, I love that you left off with the standings there. And this game that we are covering tonight has implications, right? Because those Canucks are looking to make a move and bump their rival from Providence over out of that last WC spot. So the Flames have to respond here. They got 20 minutes to do so, and they got to get 2 just to tie the thing.
Yep, and as we said, as desperate as it is for the Flames, it's desperate for the Red Wings. And what a feel-good story this is for a rival team, and you will not hear me say otherwise. That goal I saw the other day for Zach Werenski and Kent Johnson, it was 3 passes on a 2-on-1, and just a gorgeous finish. The Blue Jackets are first in the wild card in the East.
Yeah, and you know what? I know you're expecting me to answer a certain way, and I'm not going to disappoint here. This is something I'm thrilled to see.
Yes.
With everything that has happened, and with memory, thinking right now, as I speak these words, thinking of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, I am thrilled for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I hope that they continue the hot run for as long as is necessary to secure a playoff spot, because I think that would be a wonderful story, and we'll see what happens with the Calgary Flames. But boy, just thinking about the Blue Jackets, that's a franchise that needed a boost, and it looks like they're giving it to themselves. They have to give themselves credit. They've played really, really well.
I'm going to lock them in, and selfishly, hopefully, can get the Tampa Bay Lightning out to sneak the Red Wings in there. That's how I'm going to look at it as we get set for the third period. So I will take this first half. I will let Cooper close as he's got home ice advantage. This has been an interesting one. I do think the Flames, if they can find a way to get one past Talbot, I'm going to call OT. I think that's where we'll go if they can get one. We immediately get a whistle here.
Yeah, interesting. Before puck drop there at center ice, Coronado was showing a little grit right there. I actually did not see who he was lined up next to, and that would have been the left winger for the Wings on this line here. But yeah, Coronado, who again had that hat trick and hasn't been all that visible tonight, other than maybe an opportunity or 2 in the first. Let's see if he can get something going here in the third.
So a fully loaded show, and hopefully we get to the end of a fantastic game between these two. It's still close enough to where it can go either way. The shot board is 25-16. Talbot now slowly puts it at the end as FanDuel was given a shot there for Alex Lyon. He's going to be tomorrow's starter, coming off a fantastic game against Edmonton. Detroit's got to keep it going because then they got Seattle after. In this Canadian road trip, there's a lot to do following Vancouver. So Hanley now, as this will be set up with Mackenzie Weegar and Ryan Huskers forwards, will get set to change as Calgary go right to left. Farabee now. And off the rush, a little inside out move between the leg. He gets canceled off for a moment. The Red Wings will try to loft it in the corner. Bean steals. Huberdeau on the off wing. Kadri tried to get it to him, but the Red Wings defense was in perfect positioning there in front of Talbot, so this time he didn't have to make a save. Bean, this pass goes back out for Farabee. We'll start this one again, normally on the forward side, so he'll make his change as he can get settled now to get in position toward the left side dot. This is wrapped around the inboards. Calgary fans on it for a moment. This could be a breakout pass for Detroit. Tarasenko off the backboards. What a save by Wolf. Man, oh man, that came out of nowhere. And Jake Bean can start this one again as this one is sent back down the ice. That was awfully close, Cooper. What'd you see?
Boy, oh boy, John, I was going to say that could have been the game right there. The way the Wings have been so opportunistic. They were gifted that big, huge rebound off the end boards, and Wolf splays out and makes a great stop.
Justin Hall now, as this goes to the right side corner. This is more of a panic push than the Red Wings had all in the second. It was kind of sleepy there, but they're turning up the heat now. As Hall's pass will go across right in the middle of the slot. Detroit, excellent work. Little inside out for Soderblom of all people. And this one goes toward the right side dot. That was a pretty nasty move as this goes back off the backhand for Rasmussen. Third line's trying to do some work. It's Justin Hall. Here's a pass in the middle of the slot. Berggren, as the Flames are backing up. Here's another long shot. This one gets deflected off of Wolf. It bounces in front of the crease. And the Flames avert the danger here. Marty slowly gets this across. The forward's going to be exhausted. And Morgan Frost will just do his due diligence and send it in deep now as Gustafsson will get a chance to hold. Left to right come the Red Wings. It's been a good start of the third for them. Dustin Wolf comes way out of the goal crease to go ahead and play it away from Veleno. This bounces right to Joe Veleno. Dominic Shine off the touch. This will be Seider. We'll take this one right to left, and here's a chance that'll be circle back among the inboards. Veleno now will slow it. Seider pinches. Red Wings have possession, and behind the office of Wolf, pass goes wanting. Seider will collect for the right side blue line. Now he takes it one-handed. Here's a chance. Chirot to the screen. Big rebound. Save Wolf again. As he's been excellent in this third so far. And now the Flames will try to push the other way with their fourth line. This will be Klapka as he's right in the boards in the corner, and a stick goes flying. One of the Wings has to pick it up. Flames will get this one now. Weegar off the deflection. This one goes wide of Talbot again. Cooper's been able to call that all night. Is this one now taken away from Veleno? Now on the backhand, Flames try to find the left side wall. A seam pass for Captain C and Backlund. Back to Weegar. Here's the slapper toward the left side dot. Bean will get a pinch. Now in behind the net, Backlund working with Bean toward the right side wall. Bean leaves it for Weegar, does not shoot. Pass across toward the left side dot. This is Coronado. Coronado on the back skate. Lets it go to the traffic. This one gets deflected. Good hit for Weegar to push his man in the corner. Flames get possession, but it's sticked away from Lomberg. And down the ice, it'll be iced again against Detroit. Get your calculators out.
Yeah, John, so you know what? You mentioned it. It's been about 4 minutes straight of a Red Wing-centric hockey here, and Wolf has had to make not one, but I think 3 10-bell saves right here, including that first on the backhand attempt with that left pad on Tarasenko. I mean, that's twice Tarasenko's been stoned by Wolf from close range, and then he makes a great 5-hole stop. But I love that Soderblom, he toe drag, then fires a wrister. Puck bounces around. He's in the high slot calling for that thing, slapping his stick on the ice. So a good shift for him a couple of minutes ago. But the Flames trying to right the ship here. Time's starting to dwindle. I mean, 15 minutes seems like forever, but you know how fast that can go.
It certainly feels like between when both of us are on the call, both of our teams ignite. Pass right in the middle of the slot. This one deflected. Good shot block there by the Flames defense. Here's an opportunity now. Huberdeau lost in the corner. What a back check for Simon Edvinsson. Came out of nowhere on the screen. Edvinsson now pull ball pass as this is picked up right across the flaming sea, and Edvinsson still trying to do work as Mackenzie Weegar, got to be careful as this is a backhanded pass now. Jake Bean try to find the entry. He'll slow up. This will be deflected, stolen by the Red Wings, and then taken away from Raymond as Calgary get a chance to start again. Matthew Coronado Nice little inside-out move, trying to get around a phone booth. We'll send this one into the corner. Bounces off of the Wings defense and Justin Hull. And this will be sauced cross ice with the cat. Alex DeBrincat, beautiful feed. And this one is saved by Wolf again from Kopp. He's been good.
Yeah, John, DeBrincat right there. I was, of course, I'm a few seconds behind you here. I was just mesmerized by number 93. Boy, look at the hands there to tap that puck. Game possession, gets a fluttering puck out of midair. Then the beautiful backhand feed, as you mentioned. And the Red Wings really showing some jump here in the third. I have to say, maybe this is confirmation bias. We just saw him on the ice on his last shift a few moments ago. Jonathan Huberdeau looking a little bit listless tonight, not his brightest game here. So we will see. Maybe he can turn things around here, but definitely could be feeling the effects of losing Peltier to the Flyers.
And it's another one of those things that's a real-time situation. Again, you got a team coming into the building and the Red Wings that have been hot scoring goals. The Flames have been really good at home. It's been a team that's been getting it done by committee, but it's a couple new pieces. So time to gel in real time against a desperate team in the Red Wings as well. So a lot to digest. This will be another face-off. Go ahead.
That phrase, John says it right there. A lot to digest. I know we're going to get this face-off to Wolves right. Maybe we'll touch on that during our next media timeout.
So Rasmussen able to stay in the circle. He wins it against Sharangovich and then Frost prior. As this is put back in behind the end boards. Hanley now with the pinch. And Rasmus Anderson about 4 minutes away here from sending it back to Cooper Hopkins. But this game is still close enough where it could go to either one. Sharangovich now can't hold it. Soderblom already back out there after an excellent shift as this goes in across the wall. Nicely gloved down. Berggren takes a shot. And this will be blocked aside by Wolf. And now Morgan Frost. Touch pass just too far from Marty. And this will work the other way as the Wings. Little reverse hit. Soderblom took out one of the Flames. Doesn't take much as this is sent the other way now for Seider. Seider now will send a back pass back to his defense. I think the forwards will get set away for Todd McLellan squad. And I don't mind saying that when I say the head coach's name. The Red Wings look so much different now. As Joe Veleno, this shot will be fought off by Wolf. It bounces up in the air off the rush. The Hall now trying to get this the other way. And they'll do so. Huberdeau will crisscross on the off wing. Here is Farabee. Lost it for a moment. Going to try to see where Huberdeau is. He's easily dispossessed there by a bushel full of Red Wings as the Flames keep it in. Farabee now to Kadri, but Seider is there. Seider now will smartly take the long flip. Will throw this back down to where the Flames are. If you're the Red Wings, you're going to try to keep this as clean as possible for Talbot because you know it only takes one. Coleman, his shot goes wide, and Seider does not get there first. He'll let Casper. Oh, it's given away. This is toward the middle of the slot now. Rolling puck, safe Talbot, and the Wings can take a breath.
Yeah, John, a strange situation right there. Kind of a messy one. As Coronado looks like he's going to. Yeah, John, we are going to get our first penalty here for hooking. You mentioned it. They're trying to keep it clean, and Coronado, during that bouncing puck situation, draws a penalty, just getting down to those dirty areas, and it's going to be our first man advantage going to the Flames tonight.
So, Cooper, the way that this is set up, you probably have an extra 54, 55 seconds of time as soon as the penalty expires. If it goes to 2 minutes, I'll just hand it right to you so you can be ready.
That sounds great, my friend. That was going to be one of my top comments during this media timeout. I was going to say, hey, John, we're just about a dozen minutes away from the Flames being shut out and also this game being shut out of any special team scenarios. But I guess I'm going to have to just keep my mouth shut, huh?
Who knows? I mean, the Flames, I think from what I've seen so far, I know a couple of units, and this is the main question, but with Farabee and Frost, how does that accentuate your power play lines as they get their first look?
Yeah, and you're right. I'm really glad that you've been setting me up for good stuff all night, which is always the case. You're a pro, my friend. And we got both Frost and Farabee on power play 2, and I think the top power play line, respectively. So you're going to see some action out there, depending on how things go with those new pieces for the Flames. Maybe they can hit that extra switch here, find that gear, and make a difference with a little man advantage. I'm sure Flames fans out there are hungry for it, and now's the opportunity. Flames really got to capitalize. They have just not been able to do anything to get past Cam Talbot tonight. That goose egg's got to go.
Yeah, and it's not for the effort of trying, as Cooper and I talked about. I think the Flames have played an actually pretty good game here, and they've outplayed the Red Wings and forced them into a lot of steals, but the scoreboard is what matters. And if the Wings can get goalied from teams from Edmonton and Calgary and then lead this into Vancouver, that is such a far cry from anything that they got last season. That'd be a gigantic improvement.
Yeah, and a really nice play here as I see the slow-mo replay on the Sportsnet side. Blake Coleman, the wily veteran, he's the one who really was driving the play with that bouncing puck, keeping possession, and getting Coronado a chance to take it down low. That led to the penalty. So here we go, John. First power play tonight.
So 21% of the power play, 18th in the NHL. Huberdeau sets it across. Good save, Talbot, as he pushes this toward the right side red line. This is going to be his biggest test. This time the Red Wings can actually throw it down the ice without an icing because it is on the penalty kill. So that's the one thing of note. The Wings are 10 of 11 in the last 5 games. That's excellent as well because that was never their strength either. So Todd McLellan's kind of changed everything. I don't want to put it all on one man, but this is the same team without Compher and Kane. Stolen, driven right at the net. Talbot makes another save. Coronado will pick it up toward the right side. Dot is Mackenzie Weegar. He's thinking about it now in the high slot. Toward the left side, McKenzie's going to get it back. Leaving now for Morgan Frost. He lets it go, and a blocker to side by Talbot. He has been terrific. As this is now Kopp. It's turned over. Weegar, good spot to shoot. He tried to snipe the left side of the post. He just missed. This will be settled back down for McKenzie. Could you see him on the Four Nations face-off? He probably deserves it. Picked up now for Frost. Toward the left side, Dot Huberdeau. Still surveying. Leaves it now for McKenzie. McKenzie holds, shoots. This one blocked aside by Andrew Kopp, and then cleared down the ice. If I'm Jonathan Huberdeau, I'm probably shooting that 6 seconds earlier. Now Kadri off the spin. Lets everyone else get settled. High slot Kadri. He risks it. Scores! Into the screen. It's a power play goal for Nazem.
My goodness, John. There it is. It came to look at Cam Talbot. You know what, John? I'm going to be completely honest. I actually feel a little bit bad for Cam Talbot right there. The way he hung his head after that one, he was looking for that shutout against his former team. Boy, the Red Wings have played a fantastic game. Leading the way has been Talbot. And you've got to hand it to Nazem Kadri. You were talking about how he may still be missed. Probably is still missed by those Colorado Avalanche. Well, the Flames got him right now, and that is an absolute laser past Talbot's left shoulder. What a shot.
Absolutely, Cooper. That's exactly what I'm going to say. I'm about to hand this off to you in another minute. So I didn't get the full power play, but at least you got the call. And Cooper, I had to make sure. I know it's pretty much 2 home teams. You got to keep the excitement on both of those calls because that's a laser for number 91.
Yeah, and I think this game deserved that goal. It took a man advantage for the Flames to get it, but they had been about 32% or so in their last dozen games, and they capitalized when they needed to. Leave it to 91. So, John, you got 11 minutes to go here. Keep taking it, and then we'll make that switch. But we got a new hockey game here.
Larkin steals. Now it's Seider. See if the Wings can get it back or keep it. That's what the Wings need to do. They got to get 2 points. As this is sending around the inboard. So Marco Kasper gets busted for a hooking call, and his team pays for it. Trot now off the back iron, and this is picked up for Hanley. And now the Red Wings steal again. Rasmus Anderson can't get there, as this is slowly across the wall. Kadri with his 18th from Weegar. And this one will be flipped back in, Rasmus Anderson. And this will be recollected across center ice. Cooper, wherever you want to, you get a chance to take it away here.
All right, John, so we got the puck at center ice right here, and the Wings are going to send this one around from left to right if you're Dustin Wolf. Now the Flames will come away with the puck just about the midway mark here of the third. It's a new hockey game, as we were just saying. Calgary with their first of the evening, courtesy of Kadri on the power play. Just that one-man advantage all night long. The only penalty results in the only goal for the Flames, and now we hit with just a couple seconds to go, that 10-minute mark here in the third. Now here comes Barry with a little snapshot from way out by the blue line. Puck is loose. Cam Talbot diving to his left. And now we got the Red Wings streaking down the ice, coming up the right side. And a wrister goes to the right of Wolf. I think he may have paddled it up into the netting. So with 9:49 to go in the third and the Flames down by 1, it'll be a face-off coming right up.
So now that we're going to break in 9:49, as Cooper mentioned, Kadri scores in the power play from Weegar. We see that shot from Jonathan Berggren. the crowd was starting to get into it, and I wonder now, we'll see in the final 10 minutes thereabouts, if we're going to see pace in this game. We could have an exciting finish.
Yeah, you know what, John? I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to jump on a little bit of pace myself. I'm going to hit the gas and say I think that the level of energy, level of focus for both of these teams has moved to a new level. I think that's what happens when you've been sitting on a 2-goal lead. Since you kind of stunned your opponent back in the first, that's what the Red Wings did. I think both teams have been feeling those effects, and it took a special team situation to snap them out of it. Obviously, the goal itself being the result of the man advantage for the Flames. But, yeah, you had a solid 2-goal lead. It looked like Cam Talbot was going to not cruise, but comfortably work his way to that shutout. I won't say the Flames were fully dejected, but they didn't have a lot of life. And all of a sudden, John, here we are again. It's the two of us back at it. We got ourselves in an exciting hockey game. Just took a little time to get there.
Yeah, I don't know how you always do it, Cooper. Again, we try to spitball on assignments and figure out what's going to be good, but it seems like every time you and I get in a broadcast together, the magic happens.
Yeah, there's just something to it, my friend. Hey, we've had a blowout or two here and there, but by and large, it's been some really, really good, exciting stuff. And, of course, it comes right about the halfway mark of that third period here, and I'm glad that we've been switching back and forth. Very unselfish of you, my friend. You could have kept running on that play-by-play. And frankly, the fact that the Flames scored while you were on the call, right back to you.
Well, home ice advantage as it is, that's what we talk about. Participants in Four Nations face-off, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, and well-deserved for Team Sweden, Rasmus Andersson.
Yep, I love it. Looking forward to that tournament as well. I think it's a great way for the NHL to basically kind of reintroduce with their best players some international players, especially with the Olympics coming back into play. But we got the puck dropped again. On the clock. Here comes Kadri. He's going to try to bust through a couple of players, and I think we might have another tripping call. Kadri driving everything for Calgary right now. He is taken down. Could it be another power play for the Flames, John? I think it will be.
That is a tripping call, my friend. The Red Wings are playing with fire courtesy of Nazem Kadri. Remember in the first period, Kadri got upended a couple times, and then he scores, and then now he's splitting the defense. Non-stop energy. That's why I love number 91.
I love him too. I know you've talked about his jersey. We might have to go to NHL, NHL.com/shop here pretty soon. It's Sherrod getting the tripping call at 10:26. Kadri cleans off that visor, straps the helmet back on. He's got the bucket ready to go. He looks locked in. Sherrod shaking his head in the box. The power play tonight, as well documented by Mr. John Ott and myself, 100%. For the Flames, they are 1 for 1. And guess who's going to take the face-off after his man's whistled out? Kadri in there at the dot. And he is going to be pushed aside there. Boy, great defensive zone win there in a crucial situation. And the Flames cannot keep it in. So a few seconds are elapsing here as the puck is picked up by Calgary. Turned back right there by Uyghur. And now the Flames will carry forward. It's on the stick of one of the newest Flames. It's Frost. Frost gets the puck right back. Looks to center. That one all the way to the far boards. Now sent back to the blue line. Uyghur looks down to the left. Huberdeau's going to fire one through, and he'll make that a pass. Bounces off his skate. Uyghur with a snapshot. That one all the way to Talbot. Talbot again. Find it. It's loose. Now sent back to the blue line. Flames pressing here with 30 seconds gone to the man advantage. 9 minutes here in the third. There's a huge slap shot that, again, John, every time I'm on the call, it's almost to the right of Talbot. It skirts past that right post and out harmlessly. But the Flames right there with some nice pressure kept me on my toes as the call man right now. And John, of course, with the color commentary, he's going to have lots to say if the Flames can convert again. So the Flames now down to 1 minute and 2 seconds on their second man advantage. And now a turnover. Uyghur couldn't control it. 2-on-1 the other way. Here come the Wings back in the center from the shot. Now Wolf gets knocked out of the crease by his own man. I'm not sure where the puck is, but I think Wolf made a save while he'd been knocked down, John.
So 2-on-1 is Valeno, and then Kopp, and Nazem Kadri just does a barrel roll against Dustin Wolf. Are you kidding?
I'm taking a look at this replay right now. I'm getting the full speed. Kadri in Wolf's grill. He's right up on him. He actually physically knocked over his goaltender who makes that stop. Kadri, a whirling dervish right there, bowling ball. He gives his goaltender a required tap saying thank you right there with a little acknowledgement. Now the Flames do a good job to win their D-zone face-off to Wolf's right. It's going to be carried right here by Barry. He drops this one casually to Backlund. Backlund cross ice right there. Not picked up. Almost a huge turnover. One of the wings blows the tire. Now Coleman gets pushed off the puck at the boards. Barry's going to send this one from low to high. He gets the puck right back at the right point. Walking that line, steps in. There's a Rasmus Anderson. Guess what? Slap shot. That is, guess what? Saved comfortably by Cam Talbot. 26 to go on the power play.
That was a good shot for Rasmus Anderson, but I will say this one time only. That was the only time the Flames couldn't get a screen there. He was able to see it. He's been locked in.
Yeah, Talbot has been absolutely locked in. And on that Calgary goal, worth mentioning that Coleman, who was one of the reasons that Coronado was able to draw the tripping penalty in the first power play, Coleman came through for a partial screen. Calgary holding, waiting for Coleman to get in position, then fires, then scores. So 8 minutes exactly to go here in the third. Cooper Hopkins on play-by-play here along with John Ott. He's got the color at the moment. 20 seconds to go here. Flames on their second power play, down by 2-1 here at the Saddle Dome in Alberta. Nice save right there on the blocker side by Talbot. Now Backlund has it, looking for that pass back to Barry. He's going to wrist one. It rattles around. That may have hit the post again. Either way, it was another save by Talbot. Now Barry gets stepped aside right there. Boy, I think that's Raymond make it Larkin. Yeah, he's looking good tonight. He had that first goal for the Red Wings that opened scoring this evening. The power play has expired. 7:22 on the clock in the third. 34 shots now for the Flames. None on 5-on-5 have gone in for Calgary. Talbot has looked fantastic. And now here comes the Flames on the far side there, looking to spin back. Are the Calgary Flames holding possession now at the top of the right circle. Another deflection down low. I think that one scooted past Talbot without him having to make a save. There is a pass up to Uyghur that scoots into the neutral zone. He will wrap this one back around. The Red Wings looking for a partial change. Bean has the puck right now, tries to tap into Huberdeau. Let's see if he can get the equalizer here. Time starting to tick. We're getting down to the 6:45 mark, and the puck will be bounced down to Uyghur in his own end. He was chased down right there by the Wings, and Uyghur stays out with Bean, although Bean will now head off for a change. Flames looking to get some fresh legs here and some more scoring opportunities. The Flames are 77% when they are in. Excuse me, John. I'm going to get this right. They've spent 77% of their time within one goal on either side of it. That is the most in the NHL. So they're playing a lot of tight games this year. They're certainly not blowing anybody out. There's a bouncing puck from the neutral zone that is paddled aside easily by Wolf. Picked up there on the red line just to the right of the trapezoid, backhanded around the boards, and that kick play picked up by big number 76, Martin Pospisil. Pospisil looking for the outlet pass right there, but it bounces to the wings. We're getting inside 6 minutes here in the third from Wild Rose Country, Alberta. There is Ryan Lomberg in fourth line out for those Flames. Flames clear it all the way down. I don't know if it was deflected, but we are just barely getting an icing now for the Flames. Normally it goes the other way, but the Flames send it down too far.
And you were right out in front as there was a battle. Blake Coleman tried to get a deflection. 2 chances for the Flames in a span of 2.5 minutes or so off the bar against Talbot.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. There have been so many posts and crossbars, particularly for Calgary, but there have been a couple, multiple for the Red Wings as well. And there it is, John.
Yes, sir.
You've seen it on your feed. We got an 8-legger out of the ice to the left, and the left of Talbot in one of the face-off circles, and the ice team has to come out with a snow shovel. That is a big octopus right there. Oh, he goes barehanded. Barehanded. He holds it up like a trophy. I respect it. Here's to the Wings fan base, my friend. I love it. They are strong and they are everywhere.
That's absolutely awesome, and a big respect, as you said, for the young man that bare hands that one. Those are nasty.
They are. Slippery as it might be, though, he had a good grip on that thing. He cleared the ice of one of the ocean's great creatures right there. We're going to get a 2-on-2 for the Flames here. Sorry, that puts a smile on my face. With 5.5 to go here in the second. Nice job by Larkin right there to circle back, looking for that cross-ice ankle pass. And the Flames get a stick in the way. No connection made. It's Barry, who's actually been pretty visible tonight for Calgary on the blue line. And we see the slow-mo celebration by number 91, Nazem Kadri, wearing the assistant captain's A. We're going to take a break here, John. I'm going to catch my breath. What lot of change here in the third period. There's been a ton of action. Flames still have work to do, though. They're down 1.
Yeah, I know. It was almost a near miss as far as being able to get the broadcast going on my end because of an outage. And then here we go. I sent you the decision for game time. This turned into quite a heck of a hockey game. And I don't want to sit and point fingers too much, but I think the easiest way to say this is Nazem Kadri's been the best Flame on the ice today.
Yeah, he's looked really good. He's been very consistent. And listen, I don't often toot my own horn, but one thing I know about him, and I know you know it as well, is that he is such a wily veteran. He's still got a lot of jump in those legs, and he can really cleverly draw penalties, or at least force situations where he makes defenders make difficult decisions. Am I beaten here? Do I have to take a penalty? Am I going to take a penalty whether I want to or not? Nazem Kadri is one of the best at putting defenders in those spots. He did that tonight, and he helped out a teammate, Coronado, ultimately being the one to draw the tripping penalty. But then Kadri finishes it for the Flames' only goal so far. He's looked great.
I say the same thing. We already know this about Backlund, but I'd say Backlund, even Kadri, even when he gets toward the back end of that contract from Brad Treliving, I don't see those two going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that Backlund is a lifer with the Flames. I think the fact that they've made him captain, especially after his predecessor in Mark Giordano, with such a lengthy captaincy. Backlund, who now has played so many games with the Flames, 1,000 games. It's probably going to be his only spot. Rasmus Andersson also wants to stay. I think there are a lot of veteran pieces that are cornerstones here for the Flames. I certainly hope they don't go anywhere.
Looking at the Red Wings playoff chase, again, this is big for both teams, and I can say that we're past the halfway point. We got about 5:20 left. You take it away, Cooper.
I got you, John. Thanks for setting me up. 5:20 to go, as John was saying. Third period here in Calgary. There's a stretch ice pass right there that deflects off of Coleman and maybe one of the Red Wings. 34 shots for Calgary, just the one goal that came on that Nazem Kadri man advantage tally. 23 shots for Detroit, 2 goals, and there is a puck that deflects off of a glove and up into, I'd say, about the 5th or 6th row on the penalty box side. Cop heading back to the bench here. The Flames going to get some fresh legs, so are the Wings. 5 minutes left, John. We're going to have to say it. At what point are we going to see Wolfie pulled if the Flames can't get another tally? I'd say if you're looking at about that 2:30, 2:15 mark, you're going to see Wolf make his way to the bench.
Think that too, and how many line shifts are we going to get from the top sixes here between both in the 5 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to think we're going to have short benches here as Coleman sidesteps right there and is able to actually pick up possession of the puck. Now Backlund has it. He gets shouldered off of that thing, though, and the puck bounces all the way to the far side off the kick plate and now sent back down. Could we have an icing here? Yeah, it's another one for the collection, John. The Red Wings ice it, and it'll be a face-off to the right of Cam Talbot.
Well, I'm looking at Todd McLellan's face, and he's done 2 plays. Now we can definitely say the Red Wings have been up against it in double digits. My goodness.
Yeah, did we finally hit it? Are they at 10 exactly?
I think they're past that now, my friend.
I know. Maybe your browser window is not showing the Is it one, John? Is it 100? That would be 100. Anyway, I don't know if my brain can count that high, so I'm just guessing. But here we go. 4:35 to go in the third period. Wolf comes out of his net. The rookie netminder has been such a revelation for the Flames. Formerly of a team that was just a little bit north of where I grew up, Everett Silvertips. Wolf played well there for so long in the WHL. Of course, now up in the big leagues and looking like he belongs. Now here's Barry with a shot that's on the glove side of Talbot, sails a little wide, and a pass that goes off the heels of the referee. But now it's Larkin who's stoned on the near side. Puck flutters up off of the paddle of Dustin Wolf. I couldn't believe that sequence. The Flames took felt like a minute to get down and defend. That outlet pass, John, went to Larkin, who was all alone, and Wolf had to make a massive stop. That was a crazy sequence. The referee actually got in the way of that thing, and Wolf stones number 71 in white.
I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened really quickly here. Nazem Kadri pasted Dylan Larkin near the right wing boards when the Flames had puck possession, and Dylan, once he got back up, said, I'm just going to break out and try to score.
And hey, the another wily veteran move. That's two wily veterans acting like wily veterans, and one almost made it night-night for the Flames right there. But Dustin Wolf, whose praises I was just singing, makes a huge save, maybe his biggest of the game. Nice poke check right there by the Red Wings. That's Tarasenko showing a little defensive prowess. Sent the Flames back out to neutral ice. They have to dump back in, and it is backhanded along right there by Edmondson. Flames trying to hang on to this thing. Pospisil out on the ice right now. Looks for the centering pass for Sharon Govich, but it's taken away by the Red Wings. 3.5 minutes to go here as the puck slides on down to the trapezoid. Wolf will come out to play it. He's back in the blue paint now, and the puck will make it all the way back out to the Red Wings end. Little angle pass right there, and then sent back along, deflected in, so no icing. And this bounces to Wolf. He again is going to leave for Uyghur. Uyghur, that right shot, going to cut to the right side, but it's a little too far away from his stick play. There's a turnover, one-on-one now, a little dipsy-do. I think Wolf might have had to make a tip save with the end of the leather, and he watches to his left as that thing sails away without too much danger. But Wolf having to be involved here with now under 3 minutes to go. Again, it's Cooper Hopkins, yours truly on play-by-play. John being very gracious. Let me take that home ice advantage. John Ott, the master, on commentary right now. Flames have to get one more in the next 2:45 if they want to take this thing to overtime. Picked up right here by Bean, number 24, wearing those Griffey digits on his jersey. Maybe Bean will be an unlikely hero and tie this thing up. He tries to get it ahead to Huberdeau, but the puck bounces off some skates. It's picked up by the Wings. You've got to keep an eye, John, on Dustin Wolf at the other end. You've got to think that he will head to the bench shortly. But right now, he has to step out of the blue paint and play this puck with a backhand. Gets it over to Flames. I couldn't get the number right there, but the Flames do have possession. Fluttering puck bounces into Cam Talbot. He's going to blocker that thing aside. Now 2:10 to go. There's Wolf to the bench. Empty net officially. So 6-on-5. Extra attacker on, but an empty net for the Flames. Both teams battling for the puck right along the glass, about 50 feet away from Talbot, who looks on with intent. Nobody can get possession here. Flames are trying to get in position for potentially a pass down toward the crease. Now the puck finally comes free. Almost surprised the referees didn't whistle that dead. But unfortunately, if you're a Flames fan, that took a good chunk of time off the clock. Now the big Swedish defenseman, and big in impact, not necessarily in stature, Rasmus Andersson, sends a pass across ice, and the Flames will slap this one in. 90 seconds to go in our contest tonight, John. Boy, I don't see a lot of faith from the Sea Reds. Some empty seats already. Flames showing a little bit of jump right here, but you can't jump if you let that puck bounce all the way down. I thought that was going to be an empty netter from about 180 feet, but it sails wide, and it'll be an icing. Count another one, so that makes it 101 for the Detroit Red Wings.
I'm going to say the Sea Reds leaving a little bit too early here. I think Calgary's going to find a way to tie it. I think we're going to get OT. Huska's going to call his troops over for a TO and get that Kadri line back out there.
Yeah, there's a good amount of time here. Probably going to see maybe 2 more shifts at the maximum for the Flames if he doesn't leave out those first liners. 1:17 on the clock here. Let's just give you the basics. It's 2-1 Detroit, and a couple of goals scored in that first period by the visiting Wings. Just the one goal for the Flames. That came on the power play, courtesy of Nazem Kadri. There was no scoring in the second period. 34 shots for Calgary, 24 for Detroit. The timeout has been taken. Todd McLellan's shown his notes. Huska and his team got their notes to their boys. Let's see what the Flames can do here. This is big-time stuff, but both these teams fighting for playoff positioning.
Yes.
Kadri is going to be out there. He's already directing traffic. And the whiteboard's out, baby, as is customary. You know, the Flames got something drawn up here. They're going to try to tie this game and get it to OT. John, who's scoring for the Flames here? You got Coronado out there. You got Kadri. Who do you like?
I'm going to go ahead and say Matthew Coronado's got that hot stick of late.
I love it. On the Sportsnet side, they're highlighting Frosty, one of the newest Flames. You've got Frost, who came over from the Flyers. Could he get a huge first point, a huge first tally as a Calgary Flame? First things first, Flames got to get that puck back in. They do in the offensive zone, but it's taken by the Wings. Bouncing to the far corner. Flames try to keep it in and do. I'm not sure who jumped along the glass right there, but they kept it in only momentarily. Now 60 seconds to go. You know, that PA announcer's on the mic saying 1 minute left. Now that puck bouncing slowly to the cage. And John, that is going to do it. A bad bounce for the Flames and a couple of Wings fans right behind the open cage for the Flames are standing and celebrating. that will do it, sir. Congratulations, my friend. Cop puts it in. Empty net goal. 3-1. 54 seconds to play.
Naughton Kadri wasn't all that far away, Cooper, from actually getting that and breaking that up. It was all hustle dive. He probably would have got a penalty for throwing the stick anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think he would have gotten that penalty. Yeah, you can't do that. Matthew Tkachuk made a sliding save, a former Flame there. He did that in the playoffs. I think actually in a loss to the Edmonton Oilers before Game 7. But now we're seeing the faithful sea of red head to the exits, and unfortunately this time it's rightfully so. Just about 50 seconds to go here. Should all just be technicalities from this point, as the 25th shot of the night makes it the third goal from Cop for the Red Wings. 3-1 right now. The Flames are going to potentially try to get one more here, maybe just a little a morale booster goal if they can get one. The net is empty yet again, so this actually could end up 4-1 as the Wings are going to backhand it along, and that one goes just wide, bounces off the back of the cage. It was not icing. So Uyghur picks it up here, John. 20 seconds to go. I'm still ready to give you full congratulations because the Wings were really opportunistic tonight, played beautifully, and you know what? There's another nice glove save by big number 39, netminder for the Wings. Former Flame, current Red Wing, Cam Talbot. What a game.
I feel bad a little bit because I know best friend and all that, the trip and everything else, but this is 2 years in a row that we've done this for the 4 games. That's 4 wins in a row now for Detroit. I was hoping it would get a little more even.
Okay, well, you say that, but I think that you might have an evil grin on your face. We got a partner for Octopus number 1. There's some more seafood on the ice here, John. Right near where Huberdeau needs to take the face off. Huberdeau's got gloves on. He won't even tell you. He can shovel that thing with a stick, but they're going to call the ice crew out one more time here.
I will give the diehard Red Wings fans that have made the trip to Calgary or whatever else, well, they're based in Canada anyway, massive credit. That's 2 octopi on the ice. Good work.
I love it. That is, whoever threw that first octopus, I like that bold move. I feel like they were the fortune teller. They knew that they were going to get the victory tonight. There's a second member of the Flames ice crew, barehanded. That's 2 for 2. Flames were 1 for 2 on the power play, but they're 2 for 2 barehanded off the ice tonight. So 14.3 to go here in the third. Just a few of those sea of red fans remaining here. And you know what? It wasn't a terrible effort from the home team.
No.
We'll talk about this as we close the game out. But the Red Wings just deserve credit. They came in hungry. They found a couple of really, really opportune goals early on. I think the Flames found it difficult to bounce back. And it just wasn't enough. They made a push late. But the Red Wings sealed the deal here. So down to 10. And the puck is sent down the ice. This one looks like it's bouncing toward the cage, just about a foot away from making it 4-1. So for good measure, if I'm still counting correctly, that is now 102 icings for the Red Wings in this game. It feels like the end of a basketball game. John, how many more 30-second timeouts do we have? We have 7.2 to go, and it's taken about 9 minutes to get through about 50 seconds. Kadri on the dot right there. He's going to win a face-off to Matty Scorinato. He tries to wrist one, but it's a little wide. We're down to 3, John. We're down to 2. We're down to 1, and I think that time expired before a beautiful shot from about 170 feet. And that will be a final. Boy, just missing another empty netter with the Wings. They almost made it. Oh, how would the bettors have felt about that? It would have been 4-1. But your final tonight from the Calgary home barn in the Saddle Dome, 3-1. Detroit takes the victory. It was a fun one, John. Despite the Flames taking the L, I'm really glad we did this.
Yeah, me too. Again, this is giving me vibes of Tuesday, and since what I covered earlier between the Washington Capitals, I thought the Flames played the better game, but the Caps were opportunistic. Well, you can mark that down for Cam Talbot today. If he doesn't make this showcase, Wings don't win this game tonight.
Yeah, you said it. Sometimes I can be long-winded, but I'm just going to flat out agree with you. It was really ultimately the Cam Talbot show. I mean, he has a 5-on-5 shutout, gives up 1 goal on an absolute snipe that was largely screened by Blake Coleman. That was the Kadri goal. And takes care of business in really every high-danger situation. Made it happen for his team, who honestly played really well in front of him tonight. And when they had those lapses, which are going to come, right? It's a hockey game. You're going to have those moments where you give up some opportunities. Talbot was just calm and collected, and he did the job so beautifully. It's 3-1 win.
And that's what it's going to take. Again, you have a back-to-back for both teams. Seattle is going to host the Flames, and then the Flames will go right back home for Toronto, Colorado, and Seattle before the Four Nations break. I was planning on Tuesday and Thursday. I might just plan on Thursday if Cooper can join me at all against the Colorado Avalanche this Thursday on February 6th. If not, because I know I'm going to get lambasted with snow, and I think I got to spend some time with the missus before that happens. But the Red Wings will play against the Canucks tomorrow, and the Flames have Seattle. So I think it's a good opportunity for Calgary to bounce back. Red Wings need to continue to mount points under Alex Lyon tomorrow, and the Canucks, who have made a lot of changes, because there's still a lot of work to do as far as playoff positioning.
Yeah, and John, I'm going to say let's at least pencil in Thursday. I'm confident that I'll be available. So let's say that's on the docket. And, a lot of interesting hockey to come here in the next 5-6 days or so. And, I think a good opportunity, even though it's back-to-back. You have a Yanni Gordless Kraken team now, which is, again, unfortunate for Seattle, but could be a good opportunity for the Flames to work without one of Kraken's top players. And listen, we have called, as we mentioned before, a number of great games between the Avalanche and the Flames. And we talked so much about Rantanen, Natchez, and the changes for the Avs and what's to come for them. Let's get an early look at them. And why not get a look when they're playing against those Calgary Flames?
Perfect. That's what I was thinking too, Cooper. So I really appreciate that. So that's going to be awesome to be able to jump in on Thursday. And I'm not putting you on the spot here, because I'm thinking the same thing. Now that Philip Grubauer has been sent down, this really puts a whole heck of a lot of pressure on Joey Daccord, as if he doesn't have enough already. Who the heck is even the Kraken's backup goaltender?
I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT or somebody. I'm gonna have to ask Jeeves, or I don't know. I have no idea. But it's interesting too. The Grubauer cleared waivers. Another connection there to the Avalanche, obviously. Lots for us to talk about. And we're going to get it all lined up, my friend. Glad you were able to get on the call tonight. So fun. And truly, congratulations. Always fun to call any game. But, hey, when we get the Red Wings and the Flames and the Red Wings get the win, it makes it easier for me, right? I don't have to look up the score after watching a game to see the Flames take the loss. At least they're facing a team that I want to see succeed. So go Wings. I'm throwing an octopus in my mind. I'm throwing a third octopus on the ice for you.
I appreciate that, my friend. I thought we had a fantastic broadcast today. There was a lot to get to, and I'm really looking forward to Thursday. Truly, it was so great catching up with you, and I'm so glad that you're safe from all the crazy and stuff in the world that's been going on.
It's been a wild 2025, but hey, we're all good, my friend. We're back in action. Looking forward to Thursday. Hopefully, the snow doesn't bog you down too much. But I will see you in just a few days, my friend. Great job tonight. Fun as always.
All right. Sounds good, man. You take care, okay?
You too. Talk to you soon.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Wings take a huge 3-1 win over the Flames. Both the Red Wings and Flames will be in action tomorrow. Red Wings taking on Vancouver. The Flames will travel to Climate Pledge and then spend the rest of their time at home before the Four Nations face-off. This was a fun one, and Cooper has already got it in the forecast there, as I'm going to get blanketed by snow on Thursday. We'll be back between the Avalanche and the Flames on Thursday as we take a look at Nathan McKinnon, Kel McCarr, and Marty Natchez. No more Mikko Rantanen. We broke it all down with all the trades. Again, all the stuff will be on hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com per usual. You can follow that along on Hopeless Sports Guy on Spotify and anything else where you get your podcasts, as the replay will be up in about 25 minutes or so if you missed any of the trade deadline talk. You guys have a good one. Peace. I'll see you next week.